well because I didn't wear more skanky clothes. You know what I mean? Something like that. You know, it's like a very big. It's like a very no! Fuck, man, shit! No!
Well, I guess I'm dead. Okay, I guess I'm fucking dead. Oh, you're gonna vote now? Oh. You fucking moron! What the fuck are you doing, you idiot? What are you doing?
Welcome everybody to MogTalk episode 242. Today is September 18th, 2021. If you're unfamiliar with MogTalk, it's a show based around the Final Fantasy XIV community discussing everything from Savage Raiding to Chocobo Racing. That being said, we are going to be talking about the live letter and all the job changes, and I decided we're going to bring on Xeno, and I was so excited to bring him on, I just fucking duplicated him, and we have two Xenos on the stream right now.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Shit. All right, before we get going, let's go ahead and introduce the guests so you know who they are. Xeno, can you tell everybody who you are, dude?
I stream this game. I've been streaming this game for like 8 or 6 years, over 6 years, man. I'm a content creator, man. Yep.
Content creator.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Xenos 2. Can you tell everybody who you are? That's you, Arthur.
Oh, wait, me? Wait, that's me? Oh, shit. For a second, I was like, wait, what is Xeno's 2? Yo, I'm Arthars. What's up? Like Xeno, I also started streaming like 5 years ago. In fact, I say this a lot of times. Like Xeno is actually the reason why I started streaming. So it's good to have. It's always good to be, doing stuff with Xeno. Actually makes me feel very happy. Like, it's hard to explain, man. But you have no idea, man. Xeno, like how much you actually changed my life.
Oh man,
when I was watching you. Yeah, really.
That's like super positive shit there.
So
dude.
wholesome.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah.
All right. So the boys back, Xeno, Arthas. We're here to fucking talk about job changes and the live letter. I mean, there was actually some really good important information we probably should go over about teleportation fees too. If you guys want to actually start out with that, that was probably the most groundbreaking thing about the live letter, is that they're taking the cap away from teleportation fees, guys.
I didn't even know there was a cap. I don't even pay attention to fees. I'm just glad they saved all that bullshit for at the end, man. Because I was falling asleep.
There was a cap?
Apparently, I don't know, dude.
It was $999. That was the cap.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Well, I mean, if that didn't get you, probably the belts, right? You guys were curious about the belts, you know?
I was actually, there was one part, it's little details like this that bring a smile to my face sometimes, like I has been, okay, not really upset, but people has been talking about, oh, yo, because you have a speed belt, oh, you used it for Eureka. I'm like, man, well, the first time I got it, I didn't even know. I was so tired, right? I was grinding Pagos, right? And then I got it on my first try. I didn't even know it was like sellable. I just wore it. I'm like, oh, nice, cool. And then people say, dude, don't wear it. It's like 50 million. I'm like, fuck. So over the years, I always been like, I'm a very stingy guy, right? I'm an Asian. I'm a very stingy guy, right?
Oh, what?
So I always like, God damn it. That was the 30 million that got away. That was the 30 million that got away. So now in the live letter, they put that speed belt is exchangeable for something else. I'm like, I can maybe make the money back. But at the same time, it's that little thing that makes me very happy that these small things Blizzard, Square Enix actually do give a shit. And I'm like, I was really actually happy about that one. Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a speed belt, man. I did all of Eureka and all that shit. I didn't know there was a speed belt.
Oh, those are really rare, yeah. The cashier ring, the speed belt, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that shit.
Dude, I don't know. After all the fucking job changes and everything, I was like, all right, let's hang out. Let's just sit here and look and see if there's going to be like some extra information. For me, I have this secret fetish about learning information about PvP, right? I'm just like, oh, fuck, dude.
Oh, that's next live letter, brother.
That's going to do it. But yeah, it's next live letter. But they went over
It's next live
crafting.
letter.
Like they said, crafting was the next live letter, and they did like 10 slides on crafting, man.
Oh, did they? Did they talk
They
about crafting?
Our gathering or something.
Well, that's because they knew that like not as many people would be pissed off if they lied about PvP as if they lied about crafting.
Oh, I guess you're right. Shit. All right. So, anyways, what we really care about is all the different changes and everything that we saw, the things that we could kind of decipher from the bits of information they gave us with the job changes, and they gave us a good bit. Like I think they went a little bit deeper than they normally do on these live letters, which I honestly wasn't expecting. I thought all that stuff was going to be saved for later, but I mean the big thing, the big overarching changes they made is that they want to go in the direction of 5.0 adjustments and not 3.x. They made a point to say this isn't going to be 3.x.
Yeah. People don't want to play in 3.x. They don't. People think they do, but they don't. They don't want to play a 3.x because in 3.x, like Paladin didn't exist. White Mage was awful. Monk didn't exist. Like you don't want jobs like that. The way the jobs in this game, they're balanced. Literally the job balance in this game is the best I've ever seen in any other game. In any game in my entire life, the job balance is the best in this game that I've seen. They're not straying from that, man. That's why, like in the job action trailers, they played it super safe with the new abilities. They played it super fucking safe. And I mean, like some of the things I don't agree with. I think that they could have done a little more. Like I think they could have took like a little bit more risk. I mean, it feels like that they put all their work into certain jobs and just kind of like maybe added one or two moves to like a lot of the other jobs. Like obviously they put a ton of work into Summoner, right? Obviously they put a ton of work into Reaper. Obviously they put a ton of work into Sage. Well, it really shows because the other jobs, like some of them didn't even get anything. Well, okay, they didn't get shit really. Like Dark Knight didn't really get shit. Warrior didn't really get shit. Gunbreaker didn't really get shit. I mean, Paladin did, but it's like the poster boy or whatever, So I mean, that's cool. But you could definitely tell that the focus was on like certain jobs, and the other jobs are just like, let's just maybe add one ability, play it safe, I mean, which is fine, which is okay, which is fine because the boom and the hype and the players right now is insane. Like Final Fantasy's never been this big, so they don't want to fuck that up, which I think is smart. So I think for the general player base, it's like super smart to do what they're doing. But as far as like, I don't know, man, making the jobs more intricate or whatever, they didn't do that. I don't think so. We'll see though. I mean, it's still too early to tell, but I mean, based on the fucking actions and trailer and shit, man, yeah.
I mean, and the problem with the job trailer is like, it looks cool. And sometimes you can make sense out of what they're doing and everything. But some of it's just like, here's the animation. And you're like, all right, cool. That's another finisher, I guess. Right? And that's what Paladin was for me. It looked really cool with the swords and everything. But, I mean, it's not like it's going to change the dynamic of Paladin really that much. You're just going to have another set of 3 buttons to hit. Or it's just going to be, you know what? I'll hold this thought off till later. I want to talk about this with Paladin. I kind of want to hit the overarching stuff a little bit more. So let's talk about the other thing that they said as just global here, which is 60 and 120 second timers, right?
Oh, that's great.
Funneling and focusing towards that for most abilities.
Oh yeah, that's great.
So,
yeah, that's awesome. 90-second timers suck ass. They gargle balls. Who the fuck wants to do shit on a 90-second timer when everyone else is on 60 seconds? It's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
So it's the fact that they put it on a minute and 2 minutes really good.
I mean, but they're only going to do it for like the major abilities, right? I guess they're not going to do it for like every single ability, so you still have to kind of line stuff up to make it work, right?
Like, I mean, so far as we know from the live letter, is the main stuff, right? Those things that when people want to burst is everybody's like biggest hit. So those are fine. The stuff that they say might not be aligned. I mean, he obviously named an example like ley lines. Like, I can understand why ley line is not aligned. Now, I'm pretty sure the min-maxing black mages would be like, oh, why not? But if you actually think about it, like ley line is just like for a black mage, right? It's always about the mobility. It's always about how to tactically move around the arena, right? Ley line is one of those skills that is like, yes, it's obviously it's DPS increase because it reduces your casting speed, but it also not only does that, it also help you do movement and placements, right? Like how you teleport around the arena. So if it like abilities like this where its main focus is not just making sure that you squeeze all the bursts into that 60 second, 2 minutes, then I understand that some of these skills are not being, done to 60, 120, but most of the thing is, and I think as far as we know, I think when they go through the job and they go into every single job, roles, and then go into every single job, I think they already, it's kind of obvious that main buffs, burst windows are gonna be 120, 60. Then I think it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
This is gonna make things a lot easier, man.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot more fun, because like it's kind of annoying when you have like jobs on 60 seconds and jobs on a minute. I don't know, or I mean 90 seconds. It's just kind of fucking annoying, at least to me anyway.
Okay. I tried to turn.
And not just that, right? Most of the thing that they dial down to 60 second, right? They make it shorter CD, but then they make you spam the same shit lesser. So if I'm not wrong, like inner release become 3 weapon skill, right? Instead of 5, right?
Yeah.
Within the inner release. So it's like, number one, you can burst properly. Like Xeno said, you wouldn't be in a place where you're on your 90 second, you're the only one there using inner release, and then everybody is like waiting, holding, and then you hope that you didn't fuck up the 90, and then when it comes to the 3rd minute mark, then you align again. You don't want to miss a line because it's so important, right? Getting the 5 GCD in the burst window, right? Now they make it 3. I think it's a lot more liberty in terms of like, you are not restricted to send that to commit 5 GCD, right? Like Fell Cleave, like what is that thing called? The Dark Knight one, Blood Spewler. So some things they dial down like that, but you spam lesser, and then you get to use more, and then you get to burst more properly. I think overall it's like it's a better game experience, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's more fun. Like 60 seconds are just more fun too than 90. So well, I mean, I guess fun is subjective, but you get to use it more, so it's fun.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
All right. I changed my audio, by the way, a little bit, guys, so I'm a little bit louder. I'm trying to balance that out well. I think that this is good. But let me know if I need to change that. I do want to take a second. I know we're having a really good conversation here, but Arthas, how's the top of your head doing?
Oh, it's really cool. Really,
Yeah.
I feel more aerodynamic now. Whenever I walk, right, I feel like it's faster. I feel like the wind glide really nice. When I sleep, I can feel the pillow. It's like I'm more back to nature, yeah.
Are you smarter?
Oh, not
when
sure
I
about
would
that,
ball,
yeah.
I'm smarter, dude.
Oh,
The hair interrupts the brain wave activity.
That'd explain a lot about me.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like, why did you do this again?
Okay. Like, I think I talked to Zeno a few months back as well. Like, I want to shave my head as well. Then he's like, "Why do you want to do it?" I'm like, okay. Recently, whenever I go to the barber, right, a little bit sidetrack. I don't know whether you actually set time for this. Like, when I go to the barber, right,
Yeah.
they always, like, they look at my scalp. They're always like, "You look very stressed. You look like you don't have enough sleep." I'm like, yeah, the nature of my job, I don't really have like a fixed timing. You should take more rest. I'm like, okay, what if I just shave my head? They say, yeah, it will be better. You let everything grow back at the same time. You feel more relaxed. I'm like, oh, okay. One day I'll try. So I actually asked Zeno, right, how do you do it? I actually asked him about like, do you like shave? Is it okay if I do this? Then he tells me about the process, right? Like, okay. So eventually I wanted to do it at some point, but I want to do it before the expansion because I want the hair to grow back, right? And then at the same time, Final Fantasy was really boring. During that time, I think February to July, we were like in quite a dark place. Like we will be talking about, man, where's this game going? I don't even know what to stream. I don't even know what to play. What are we going to do? You know, what the future lies. We didn't know, right? So I was like, yeah, maybe I'll just shave my head. This is like the best time, right? And then Asmongold came in. Final Fantasy 14 pop off, and then this month is like August and September has been really hype, and then September happened, and then I'm like, I never done anything like this before, so everything aligned properly, so I decided to like just fuck it. So it was very random. I just messaged Zeno like, yo, what if I do this? You think it's okay? He's like, oh, that's like the easiest 1K. I'm like, you sure? He said, yeah, 100%. And then I asked my mods as well, right? They say, isn't that a little bit too low? I'm like, are you serious? I rarely get 1,000 sub a month. Do you really think I can get 1,000 in a day? So an underestimated Twitch chat, and like I told you earlier on the stream, if you ever want to do it, Frosty, set it higher. Yeah.
I don't know if I could do it, dude. I really don't. I don't think that I could do it.
Just shave.
I just won't look
I'm not
right.
coming back on MogTalk until you shave your head and that's it.
Fuck, dude. I'm gonna have to figure out. Like, I wouldn't do 1,000. Like, I'd do 100,000. Like, dude, I don't think I could do 1,000. Like, it would have to be like a
5,000
life-changing thing. Like, it could be
It's
like
not that bad. It's not that bad. What the fuck? No,
well,
it's
I
not
mean,
that
like,
bad. It's
I
not
still
that
have a job that I gotta go to, and I have like people I have to interact with, and if I go in there looking goofy because my head looks like some kind of like weird.
bad. Whoa,
Hey,
whoa.
look, people look good bald, but I don't think I will. I think my head is gonna look dumb and probably has like lumps and stuff all over it and everything. It's just not gonna look right. It's just we'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see. Like, I'll have all these little scars and marks and weird stuff. And it's just not gonna. I don't know.
You notice the trend, Frosty? You need to follow the trend. You notice how WoW players coming in are all balding and then getting hair transplant, and then Final Fantasy 14 people are going bald, willingly. Yeah, you need to join in, man. Join in the fray.
I'll tell you what. In like 6 months, I will probably go bald involuntarily. So. I think it's going to be okay when the baby gets here. He'll just pull all my fucking hair out. I think that's just how it's going to work.
Oh, no, speaking of that, another one thing why I wanted to shave my head, because I wear a lot of headset. So there's like the headset then, right?
Yeah.
Especially I wore long hour, right? So sometimes like my wife will be like, why is your top of your head so flat? Why is it like there's a bald spot? Like, shit, am I really balding? And then because I never really get the chance to see parts of my head, right? And also, like I said, when I go to the salon, right, they tell me about, you know, stress and stuff. So I was like, yo, maybe just clean shave one time, then you can identify it totally, right? Like, is there any like spot? So luckily none. So that's pretty good.
Okay. Yeah. So I this tangent has gone on for a while about the job changes. Yeah. Not really talking about balding. I don't know. I think you look good though, Arthas. It's not clean though, right? You look at Xeno and it's like smooth.
No, that one is too
smooth.
Every day I
That's
study
gotta bick it, dude.
I don't know how you do it.
You gotta bick it, man. Just you bick it. You don't have to shave it as often. Kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You can be a little bit more lazy.
Actually, explain bick it real quick. Arthas, do you know what he means by bick it?
Nah, Bicky, you just okay. So over here in Cheeseburger Land, there's a brand of razor called Bic. It's just a normal like straight razor, right? You just fucking buy. They're cheap as fuck, right? You just and so the brand of the razor is called Bic. So that's why you just bick that.
It's
shit.
a cheap razor. You just fucking use it, throw it away, and then you're done. Yeah. But there you go. Now you know.
Yep.
So I think it might be good for us to, when we get back to job changes now, it may be good to start off with tanks, even though like there just really wasn't much with tanks. I think, I don't know, what you guys think about the tank announcements?
Man, I thought it was good. It was not great, but not bad either. I thought it was good. All the tanks pretty much stayed the same, except for Paladin gaining that Confiteor combo. I think that there were a couple issues, man. Or there were a couple things that I think they should have showed. Like, so for Paladin, they didn't actually show the atonement skill, at least from what I can remember, and they didn't actually show Royal Authority, which I think that they should have showed those abilities. They did show Goring Blade. I feel like it was more now. Okay, I assume that those abilities are still in the game, but I still think they should have showed them. It only would have took a couple extra seconds. And I feel like that they should have shown them just for the sake of like showing them, just to be like, hey, these abilities are still in the game. So like they didn't show those. I'm gonna assume that they're still in the game because I don't think you're gonna spam Goring, but who knows? But the rotation is pretty much, I mean, I think it's pretty much gonna be the same, except for you're gonna have that Confiteor combo thing, so they might fuck with the because of those like increased abilities or whatever, like the Confiteor combo, depending on how it works, they might increase or decrease the length of Goring Blade to like make your rotation like line up better. But they didn't show like Sonic Break from Gunbreaker, which I don't know if it's in the game or not. But if it's not in the game, then basically the ability that costs 2 ammo is going to replace it in the No Mercy window. It's either going to replace that or it's going to replace a Brutal Shell. So they didn't show Sonic Break. They didn't show Storm's Eye. And everybody was like, oh, well, no, that's because they put it up with the AoE. Well, no shit. I can read a fucking slide, idiot. I'm not illiterate. I can read a fucking slide, man. No shit. But that doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to use an AoE combo to put up my buff? Like, what fucking kind of sense does that make, man? Like, they should have at least showed the ability to just say, hey, this is still in the game. Like, I think that's important. I think that's important.
Right.
That they should show the fucking ability, you know? I mean, fucking Warrior doesn't even have that many abilities anyway, man. You know? Just fucking show it. So, like, we don't know if that's still in the game. I assume it is, you know? But, you know, I mean, I don't like that you spam Onslaught. I think that's fucking Papega. Just let me Onslaught into the boss. Oh, here again. Oh, I got a third charge now. See, I don't like that, man. I hopefully they remove potency from gap closers. I don't think they did, but hopefully they did. But I don't think they did. I think spamming Onslaught's kind of fucking stupid. Upheaval not taking gauge anymore. That's kind of cool. That means that inner release is going to be changed. Well, besides the duration, like maybe it only applies to Fell Cleave. Maybe it's only crit direct hit on Fell Cleave. Maybe it's not even crit direct hit anymore. Maybe it's like just damage increase. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know yet. I'm glad they kind of did something with Salted Earth. It sucks that Abyssal Drain's still in the game because it's a fucking useless ass ability. It's just filler. I don't know if Salted Earth was on or off the GCD. I know it procced another ability later on, so it'll be kind of interesting to see. I'm afraid of some button bloat. So like you have Abyssal Drain, which is button bloat. You have Salted Earth, which is button bloat. Then you have a proc from Salted Earth that could be button bloat, and it's just like, ugh, like Jesus Christ, man. I know there was another. So in the trailer they did Flood of Shadow, Edge of Shadow, and then they did another beam thing that kind of was like Flood, kind of was like Dark Passenger. So we'll see what that is. But so I think like overall, man, I think they just played it super safe, which is fine. I think the jobs and rotations are pretty much going to be the same. This is just my first impression. I could be completely fucking wrong, of course, but just my first impression is the jobs are going to play they're going to play very similar to how they play now, with just like maybe an added ability or two. But I think it was fine. I think it's fine. Could they have done more? Yeah, I was kind of hoping for a Warrior rework, like maybe add like some more abilities other than just. Oh man, the new animation of Upheaval is so bad. Oh my god, why did they change Upheaval? Upheaval was like one of the coolest moves. It was a fucking uppercut, and then they changed it to this stupid punch combo. Like, what the fuck are they thinking? What a stupid change. Why would you change that ability? It doesn't make any sense. It was already cool. The uppercut was badass. Why change it? Like, I don't understand. So I don't really like that. The new Nascent Flash animation's pretty dope. Which I assume is Nascent Flash. I assume.
It's probably like an upgraded version or something.
Yeah, something. Hopefully it's just straight bloodbath and fucking, but whatever. But yeah.
Arthas, you want to add anything about the tanks to that?
I mean, it's kind of in line with at the beginning we were talking about like the trailers in general, right? For tanks as well, right? I think if it ain't broken, then there's no need to fix it, because really the one best thing about this Shadow, at least for Shadowbringer, is that the tanks are super balanced, right? They are all okay. They all can do the job. They all feel fun. They all have very slight uniqueness between themselves. So you look at the trailer, it's like, yeah, nothing really changed. So I don't expect anything to change as well. Rotation, maybe. Again, this is something that we will only know when we actually see the 2D, because animation can only show us this much, right? But just based on at least the tanks that I played, like Dark Knight, Warrior a little bit, and Gunbreaker, it seems like we are just getting one more extension to what we have. Now, I think the Burst Strike does seems like it's a 2-hit combo. I hope that the 2 cartridge combo is not tied to Burst Strike, because that would mean that, fuck man, I must get 3 cartridge before I can do that 3 string of move that they show in the trailer. So hopefully the 2 cartridge is a single action, and then the Burst Strike and the follow-up is like a 1 action. I didn't see Sonic
that's
Break,
what it was.
I'm really happy.
Yeah, that's
was
what
really
it
happy
was.
when I don't see Sonic Break. So I think it will still make the 9G CD No Mercy window okay. Now Warrior also seems okay. Paladin is just a Confided combo. Dark Knight doesn't really seem to change anything. Now in terms of button blow, I think this time they are going more of like, if you press this, that button will become that, something like the PvP. But I think they're only doing for selected action and maybe just the new ones. Old combos, it seems like they're just gonna keep it 1, 2, 3. Although not continuation, Gnashing Fang, they're gonna make it into 1 button. That's also really nice. But overall, I think I don't expect too much button blow. That seems okay. And I think this is the best, like Xeno said earlier, this is like the best timeline, right? That they, as a developer, you are always striving to find the sweet spot to hit. That moving forward, this is the consensus of how you balance something or design something. I think they found it in Raid, in Creator, and I think for Shadowbringer, they found it for most of the job. Some except Summoner and Scholar and Astrologian, but most of the job they kind of nailed it, hit on the spot. So 6.0, you have to deal with number crunch and then more abilities to add on. So I think they went for this safer route, and every job, and particularly tank, especially tank, it seems like it's already great. 1 or 2 more ability, no need for major rework, show you some new ability, shouldn't affect gameplay, and I would assume 6.0 will be as balanced for tanks. 6.0 will be as balanced as 5.0. Yeah.
So I guess the 2 things I'm curious about here is, it seems like most people are on board with making that new combo a single button, but we're not on board with making old combos single buttons. So
they should, but
I don't know.
No, people are just fucking dumb. That's all it is, man. Actually, Square Enix is the one that doesn't want to make their combos all 1 button. Like Yoshi P actually in an interview was very vocal about it. He said that they won't ever do that because in PvP your focus needs to be on, like, I guess your focus needs to be on like CC and PvP type stuff, but in PvE content it's like more slower pace, so your focus needs to be on your rotation and shit, which I don't really carry the weight, to be honest. I just think that feeling strongly one way or the other is kind of stupid. But
it's always about I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, but to me personally, if people want to do that, like, because I mean, you can already do that. There's a mod that lets you do it. And the people that want to do that, that's fine. And the people that don't want to do that, like, I mean, I don't do that, but I don't do that not because, like, oh, that's cheating. No, I don't really give a shit. I just don't do it because I'm just used to doing what I do. I just fucking bind it on my hotbar. But if you want to do it, that's fine. And if you don't want to do it, I think that's fine. But I think if you feel like super strongly, right, like, oh, you're dumb if you don't do it, or oh, you're dumb if you do it, I think that's kind of dumb. But yeah.
It's always about how far you take, how you feel. Like for me, right? For me, thinking about how Square Enix is gonna approach it, if Square Enix think there will be a button bloat, they would have already done every single action, any combo related, into 1 button. I'm pretty sure now that they know their hotbar is okay. Usually just 3 lines. Usually you get 2.5 to 3 hotbars feel of ability, and now it's always the worry, right? New expansion, new ability. Are we gonna get more action? Is it gonna bloat our bar? Now Square Enix themselves knows best, and also by the media tour we will have more insights. But I would assume if they don't want to do it, it's because they feel the hotbar is fine. So then for me, that would be fine. Now, if the hotbar is going to bloat and you keep it that way, then I will obviously take the other stance and say, why don't you make it 1 button? But, this type of thing usually go hand in hand. It's one thing that we feel how we want it to be, and it's the other to think that do you really need it to be. So I think oh, yo, Zeno, we forgot to talk about one most important thing about the tank. The first part they talk about whether you use your cooldown properly would affect better reward. How do you think about that? Holy shit!
Oh,
I think
man.
a can of worms.
Yo, so here's the thing. Yeah, so they can't make that too good. And I think the example they gave was like if you use your CD at a proper time, you buff the other tank or you buff another party member. They can't make that too good. Like they can't make using a CD a damage increase, because if they do, then that will make the ceiling way too high and the floor way too low. Like basically, if you're bad at this game, which a vast majority of the community is, you're gonna be all the way here on the floor, and the fucking the big dick players, myself, Frosty, Arthars, those players
absolutely.
are gonna be way up here at the top, completely dumpstering on all these kids down here. So that's gonna be a problem because they don't want to do that. Okay, they don't want to do that. They want to take the floor and like, hold on, let me do it like they did it. Okay, they want to take the floor right in the ceiling and they want to do this. You know what I mean? They don't want to do that. So I feel like that the benefit to using a mitigation like that, it has to be like, it's got to be one of those things where okay, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
This is how I think that it's going to be implemented. Okay, so look at Warrior's ability, Shake It Off. You get it's a 15% shield, but if you have Raw Intuition, Thrill of Battle, or Vengeance, it adds plus 2%, right? Okay, well that plus 2% is like, a vast majority of the time it's not going to fucking matter, right? It's not going to fucking matter, but it's nice to have kind of thing. Most of the time it's just placebo, but it's like, ooh, it's kind of nice. So sometimes you can double up. Sometimes you can use Raw Intuition and Thrill on a tank buster, and then right after the buster, you use your Shake It Off and you absorb raid damage and you get a little benefit out of it. That's what I think it's going to be like.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be anything huge, but I mean, I could be wrong, but I just don't see them. I don't see them making it some huge benefit, because then it's going to separate the ceiling and the floor too far. But
yeah, actually, I think that's like the best example. Yeah, that's actually, I never actually really think about that, but I think the Shake It Off example is literally the best way you can make it beneficial, yet not noticeable, yet not really matter. I think that's actually the best way to do it. If they cannot do anything damage related, as in DPS related, they cannot do that. Even for defensive benefit, I personally also on the fence were to go to far defensive, as in where it will really matter subsequent hits, because they always talk about this life letter. They keep talking about the after and pre-tank buster auto attacks. They've been talking a lot about that because they also use that to talk about like Arrow, and used to talk that about Fiend. So I hope, even for defensively, I hope it's not going to be something like, if I use Rampart at this point, then Rampart will get 5 more seconds, or Rampart will get a few more percent, like 5%, like something noticeable. I personally hope that it doesn't even go that way, because tanks in this game, right? Some tanks cannot even use CD properly already.
yeah,
Like, just to save their life. If you tell me you have to push properly to get benefit, you're gonna get high-end players or those nitpickers or those like glare mages like, dude, you die because you didn't pop your CD properly. When we were just talking about you didn't pop CD, next conversation going to 6.0, Eve is gonna be making defensive so much better because you pop properly. The conversation will be you didn't use properly. Now it's like, now the shittier or new players go, okay, so I need to use it and use it properly. I feel like that would create too much of a drift. Hopefully it's just like Shake It Off. You have it, great. You don't have it, not really matter. Hopefully it's just that leaning towards that side.
Yeah, I think if it's too hard to use, people are going to complain and they're going to revert it. That's what I think. Like, dude, okay. They're like really inconsistent with some of the shit that they do, man. So like they make we're playing a game where, like, okay, Blood of the Dragon started off as this super high skill cap thing, right? Every time you use your Geyer Skogul, it like took it down. That was in 3.0, right? So we started off with this like high skill cap, and over the years, they've been lowering, bringing up the floor, bringing up the floor. So now we're to the okay. So we started off where Gyre Skogul was high risk, high reward. Now it's a trait. Why the fuck isn't Storm's Eye a trait? Why isn't Huton a trait? They said they made Huton easier. How the fuck can you make Huton easier? It's like one button. So now
You
it's
don't
like,
ever lose it. Yeah.
like why even why not just make it a trade at that point, dude? Like what the fuck? You know? But my point is that is the direction the game is going. So if they're gonna try to say, okay, because like Party Finder tanks and shit, they already don't know how to use like CDs, man. They really don't. You know, most people don't. It's fine. It's whatever. You know, that's what your tank mastery's for, man. You know, it's the carry. It's fine. But if they're gonna try to have some special benefit to using a defensive cooldown, I think it's a fucking big mistake if it adds any type of damage. Well, it's a huge mistake if it adds any type of damage. But there's that, and there's also if it's defensive, I think it's still a huge mistake because you're gonna have people fuck it up because people aren't gonna understand. Like people can't even keep up Huton. People couldn't even keep up Darkside. That's why Darkside is like, I mean, people don't even know what Darkside is anymore because it's irrelevant. You don't have to know what it is because it automatically applies when you spin your mana. Literally spin your mana, and that's it. You know, well, okay. I guess you have to do my bad. I guess you have to do an Edge of Shadow. You can't just do a TBN and then it goes unpopped, you know, whatever. Okay, so there's a little bit of skill cap there. Okay, my bad. But my point being is that it's like basically like you have to try to like you're gonna have Darkside, right? And you don't need to know what Darkside is anymore. You don't need to. So you have to actively try to not have Darkside on. So that's the direction the game's going, and I just don't see that there being some super huge benefit. Like they literally said they don't want to go back to 3.x. They literally said that. They don't want to go back to 3.x. They're just going to build up on 5.0 or whatever.
Right. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of having some sort of skill cap added in there, like secretly. But no, you're right. You're right. That would be going completely opposite direction than they said they would be going. I guess the only other thing that they were talking about with tanks is that they're finally adding some quality of life of you can use ranged abilities and not mess up your combo, right? And that's, hey, an easy win. You don't even think about it. It should have been done. Yeah.
That's huge. And that also extends to melees, right? That's actually really, really huge. Like sometimes the fight design, okay, like Heaven's Word, right? We are talking about, honestly speaking, if you sit down here today and you think about it, Heaven's Word, Gordius Midas is not that bad. The rate is not that bad. What makes it harder was because we have to play our job not only perfectly, but also based on how hard it was. Like Xeno was saying, how hard to keep up Blood, how hard Black Mage will have to keep up Enochian back then, right? We have to deal with that, and then we have to deal with the mechanics. Now, those are gone already, right? We are not going back to Heaven's Word job skills anymore already, right? The way we play the job already, right? Now we are in 5.0, it's more relaxed, but it's very balanced, but it's more relaxed. And then now we have to go into the part that they have to make boss more crazy. That's why we have the ultimates. That's why our bosses are more like spinning around and stuff. So sometimes it can't be helped that we don't want to lose any GCD, but we know we can't use those range skills. Now that it doesn't break combo, I think that the first 100%, nobody can ever complain about no more uptime. It's just going to be about how much more potency you can squeeze in. And number two, this also might ring a bell that maybe they're going to make more crazy. I mean, they literally say that, right? Moving forward, bosses is going to be like more crazy. It's going to be like you're going to go in and out. The timeline, they keep talking about the timeline. You're going to understand it. It seems like moving forward, we might see more crazy shit going on in boss fights, and this would help us ease a little bit. So it's like, I was quite happy to, when they say about range not breaking combo. I think it's really huge. Yeah.
I mean, it allows us to have like some other level of I guess thought into what we're doing without, I don't know. I mean, it was a good thing to think about, hey, I can't use this ranged anymore because it's out here and it would fuck up my combo, and you have an extra little level of thinking, but now there's no thinking to it. You're like, oh, I'm not in range. I guess I should just throw my shield, or whatever else you're going to do. So I don't know. I guess it's fine. It's not like a huge deal. Not nearly as big of a deal as the defensive.
No, I think I think it's just gonna raise the floor, man. Because there's so many players. There's so many players that will start a combo, they'll run out, and they'll do a fucking tomahawk, and then they'll come back in, and they'll have to restart their combo. There's so many players that do that, and it's so bad. It's better to just fucking hold your GCD, honestly. In almost every case, it's better to just hold it because you lose like half the GCD, but you continue your combo. And when you continue your combo, you're building gauge. So it's like more, it's more than just like, it's more like if you have to run out and then cancel your combo and then you start over, it like your GCD alignment's all fucked up now. It's all fucky.
Right.
So it's better to just hold it and then go back in, or just, you know, get fucking good at greeting and not miss it, you know. But I think that's why they did it. Because there's so many players that'll start their combo, they run out, and then they do a ranged attack because it's like, oh, you know, I just want to keep hitting my buttons, you know, and then they cancel their combo, and they have to go back in and restart their combo. That's what I think. I hope that they're not gonna start making a whole bunch of downtime mechanics. That's gonna be fucking lame if they do that.
Well,
my
go ahead, Arthas.
Because okay, for me, right, I look at this. This is a melee thing, so it also includes melee DPS. When I look at the boss design today, right, and I look at, okay, I'm not a trash tier player, right. I'm obviously also not on like the super good player side, but whenever I play a melee, that is one thing that triggers me the most. Like in terms of learning or picking up a new melee. Tank, that includes tank. When I say melee, that includes tank and also melee DPS. It always makes me wonder, like, god damn it, man, the uptime. God damn it. First, the positional. We will talk about that later. Second, the uptime. Sometimes I tell myself, right, when I'm learning, right, when I'm progging, right, and also even if say I'm a human being, sometimes I will fuck up one GCD. Like Xeno say, your rotation get all fucked and stuff. You sometimes can't greet properly anymore. Then it comes down to, dude, I really want to throw this dagger. Now, ninja is not so bad. Because 1, 2, 3, throw dagger. You can throw dagger. Dude, dragoon, you can never throw that spear. As a dragoon, you can never... That skill literally is never going to be pressed anymore, right? Or dragoon, especially dragoon. Ninja, I can squeeze it. Gunbreaker, I can squeeze it. I guess Dark Knight and Warrior also, you can squeeze it. 3G City. But there are some jobs that you just can't. And it infuriates me like, okay, we don't like uptime like Xeno. Xeno doesn't like uptime at all. We know that. But sometimes we wish there's this option that we can just throw in, man. Like, give it to me, you know, or remove the positionals, or less downtime. So out of all these three, this is a good addition that I think makes me happier a little bit, and it raises the floor a little bit. And dude, especially what Xeno said, the Tomahawk, I've seen it so many times. In turn 2, Litany, the dog. Every single time the dog has to do the stand up and chariot, I always see people run out and then throw Tomahawk and break their combo. It's always the Tomahawk. I don't know why. And I'm like, this helps them, I hope. Yeah.
You know, I guess the other thing they did, I forgot about this, is they're doing the physical and magical parity balancing for everything as well. And that matters a lot to like deep theory crafters, but to like the average player, they're like, what the fuck? All right.
They shouldn't have even said that. They shouldn't have even said it. The only reason why they did was because the potencies are going to be a bit wacky. Like physical potencies are going to be a bit like wacky or whatever, or magic potencies, so that they had to give a reason. Because like, okay, people that play this game, man, they thought that the stat squish meant that they were going to nerf things. Yep. So the fact that they had to explain the magic and physical like base values and how they calculate it is purely to prevent people from crying about, oh, you nerfed my job, when your job didn't actually get nerfed. Like, it didn't get nerfed at all, because all this shit's relative. But you know there's going to be players that are like, wow, this potency, this ability used to deal 400 potency and now it's only 250. I got nerfed and I'm mad. You know, and it's like, dude, you can't even hit the buttons that light up. Shut the fuck up. That's why they said it.
Well, the thing is, they explained it at like a high level of understanding and going into programming and everything else. The people complaining that's going to go past them. They're not going to fucking understand what they said. They're also not going to
will still
probably
happen.
pay attention to like most of the live letter, except for the pretty lights. And so the thing is, like, they had to say they need to simplify this stuff down so the people who are on that level of lower. God, I don't want to fucking get like yelled at. Whose brains are a little bit smoother than the most of us, I guess. And they're going to start complaining. They need to explain it in third grade terms, first grade terms and stuff. Not go into like the heavy detail of programming shit. Just say, it's going to be okay. Put some pretty colors on there in Crown and say, you're still going to be fine. Them things might look a little different, but it's still good. You know, and that's all they got to say, and they're done. They don't gotta fucking go into the deep programming of it. I don't know.
Yeah, people are still gonna complain about it though, but they just said that. They just said that because like ultimately none of that shit matters. What they said, none of it matters. Like their damage calculations and shit. Like we can't change any of it. It is what it is. It should just be it should just be assumed. You know, like it just a vast majority of people don't even give a shit about that. Okay. So on like one hand, it's like they kind of in my opinion, I think they wasted their time talking about it because most people don't give a shit. But on the other hand, it is good that they did mention it because some people do care. And I'd rather a company overshare than like not share at all. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of companies that wouldn't, there's a lot of like, games that wouldn't even give a shit. But the fact that they actually said it, which is cool, but I just think that it fell on mostly deaf ears is all.
Yeah, I think so too. It's good that they're a little bit more transparent with that stuff, but it was in mix with other things that I think, I don't know, it just requires some more understanding than the people who are complaining will be able to understand. Anyways, they did that for like fucking melee as well. They also did the ranged attacks with no longer breaking combos. The other change that they had was the feint change, right? To reduce also magical as well, but I guess it's not going to be as strong against magical.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be something though. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's better than nothing. It might be like 20% into 10% or something like that, or maybe like 10% into 5 or something. I mean, at least it's usable. Because like right now, you can't even use feint on like Morna Fa, but after the change, you'll at least be able to. Ooh. So it'll be good. It's good.
Why don't they just deep dive and make it across the board like the same? Like, is that really high? Is that really sticking to that identity that much? The only way to reduce physical.
They're like really inconsistent. They're really inconsistent with job identity, and they're really inconsistent with like the way that they do. Like, okay, so with job identity, they take away bloodbath from warrior, right? They take away bloodbath, but they keep living dead. What the fuck? And here's like another thing too. So recently they've been talking a lot about like changing the ability on your hotbar, right? And I've always been like, I've always said that you should be able to bind Inner Chaos on warrior, because Inner Chaos is a really, really horrible ability. It makes the job super clunky because your Fel Cleave turns into Inner Chaos. So hopefully in Endwalker, I mean, I'm on that copium a little bit, but hopefully you'll be able to do that, because Inner Chaos is like the worst ability on warrior. It's fucking horrible. The fact that you can't bind it is awful, and you should be able to use Infuriate underneath Inner Release, but whatever. My point is that they make that change, right? That's a bad change, turning Fel Cleave into Inner Chaos. But a good change that they did was make Gnashing Fang all one button. That's good. So like, I just feel like sometimes they don't play test this shit. Sometimes they don't think about it, man.
No, because they mentioned most of the jobs is designed by different developers. That's why there's the inconsistency.
Did they say that?
Yes. All the jobs are every job. I mean, not every job is designed by an individual, but some people design this job, some people design the job, and then when they finally come together, right, then they will do comparison. Like, okay, my job has this. So what about your job? Okay, my job also get this. So that means that your job and my job kind of lines up a little bit. Okay, then we need to talk. right? How are we gonna do this together? That's how they design the job. It's not all one person making all the melees. It's not all one person making all the tanks. It's maybe this guy make one tank and then one melee and one physical range, and then they come together and like share the idea. Okay, mine got this, yours got that. What about yours? Okay. So you got that much. Okay, then I need to have this much. Can you not do that so that mine doesn't look that bad? So that's how they do the job. Yeah. That's why there's inconsistency. Very apparent inconsistency. Like Warrior in 5.0 as well. Warrior in 5.0 as well. But you look at Warrior in 5.0 and then you compare to the other tanks. 5.0, you immediately felt like, dude, they didn't even think about Warrior. They just think that because it worked in 4.0, they copy and paste it and they just put it in 5.0. And then the guy just like, yeah, nothing breaks, right? Just change this to make it that. Just add one more button. Then slowly they tell us, like, wait a second, how come the Dark Knight has got no worry about dropping the damage bar and Warrior have this? Okay, you know what? We should extend the eye so that just like Dark Knight, it will stack up to 60 seconds and you should use it naturally. And now your Storm's Eye also naturally go to 60 seconds. Voila! 1 + 1 = 2, right? Yours also, right? That's not how it works. That's not how Storm's Eye should be gone.
It should be I can't believe it's not a trait. I cannot believe Storm's Eye is not a trait, dude.
The first thing they put in the
Storm's
Warrior
Eye isn't a trait. I don't think Storm's Eye is a trait because they didn't have enough time to think of another combo to give Warrior because they were too busy working on other shit. So they were like, just fuck it. Let's just give them a fucking flip fell cleave and then that's it. We'll make it a trait next expansion. It's fine. We'll get around to Warrior eventually.
I was watching with Xeno and I was like, that was the first thing we laughed together. I'm like, dude, the first thing about Warrior they talk about when they show the Warrior slide is now your AoE combo will apply buff. Me and Xeno is like, dude, it shouldn't. That's not the problem. Why? They should be gone. It should be like, so you're telling me you still need to apply eye. That's the problem. It's not about the AoE should apply the buff. It shouldn't be that. Now, they did that. They did that part for Samurai. They actually make Meikyo Shisui give you one more stack so that you can use your finisher on the 3 stands, and they give you the Jinpu and Shifu buff. Why Warrior? Okay, we still don't know yet. Maybe when you onslaught, we don't have 2 tips, right? Maybe this time onslaught is a 2 stack. Maybe when you do onslaught, you immediately get eye. Then we will have a different conversation. But sometimes,
we're only going off what they showed, so
right.
So sometimes we come back. This is why job design are quite separate when you like just isolate every job out and you just like look at them. Why all this decision is because mainly different people design different jobs. Yeah, that's what it is.
It's like buffs in this game are just like an illusion of it's just like upkeeping your buffs in this game is a fucking joke. Like the only way that buff upkeep can be interesting is if it's a high risk, high reward. So like look at 3.x, look at Blood of the Dragon, high risk, high reward, and look at it now. Now it's a trait. Okay, so like you can't have a buff so you can't have buff upkeep without high risk, high reward not be tedious. So if you're not going to actively try to keep it up, then it's going to just be fucking tedious, which is what I is. It should be a trait. Now I will say the fact that you can apply it with AoE, that is better. It's still not as good as it could be, but we're getting there. Maybe next expansion it'll be a trait. Hopefully we'll be able to look back on this day two years from now and be like, finally they did it. But like in cases where you need to apply in a release like immediately, at least you can do it on the third GCD. So you could do like, AoE combo into Inner Chaos, which I assume is still going to turn into Fellcleaver or whatever. And then you can apply Inner Release afterwards. So basically by being able to apply Storm's Eye 1 GCD sooner, it gives it a little bit more wiggle room. I still think it's not as good as it could be, but at least there's that. At least it gives you a little bit more wiggle room.
Okay. Well, with Melee, I know we're like going back, but no, with one thing we'll get on Melee now. One thing I want to talk about, because the big news with Melee, I mean, there's a couple of things of big news, but the biggest news is Reaper, right?
Yo, it looks sick, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna level it. It looks sick.
Yeah, it looks fucking
I'm a little
like
worried.
really good. What, you're worried?
Why are you worried?
Okay, number one, this especially new jobs, right? Without tooltips, we will never understand how it works. Fuck, man, Yoshi P don't even know how it works. It was obvious. Yoshi P, when he was like pressing, he don't even know how it works. Second, I saw something that I'm really afraid. I saw 1.5 second GCD in some Reaper skills. When he goes into that whatever avatar mode, I saw 1.5 second GCD. That worries me because
Was it a GCD or off GCD maybe?
it's a GCD, and you have to. You apparently you might also need to weave something in it. So 1.5 second. That's
Yo,
what
you need to hit up that 14 Alexander, brother. Yeah.
So, Jesus Christ, you're gonna get me fucking banned, dude. Yeah, you're talking shit about Yoshida.
Wait, I did?
No, Arthas did. He was like, he doesn't fucking know how to play his game. And then bringing up Alexander. This is a TOS is shit. But anyways, no, with Reaper, I mean, it's hard to tell. I mean, what it's going to be. We know it's not a pure DPS, right? We know that it's going to do little buffs. It's going to teleport around, and it's. They said something about it being unique, I guess, in a way, with how it battles. What was it that they said?
Man, they said every job's unique, man.
It's unique because we haven't seen it.
Yeah.
We haven't have the amazing community to put out, lay it out. How you say unique? Yes, play style is unique. This is how you do the gauge. This is how you do the gauge. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we just need a guru, lay out a rotation, and bam. You should use all of this into this window, and then this is your filler phase. This is your burst phase, this is your filler phase. That's how then it becomes less unique. That how then we will know how the job play. Because there is one thing that the job is designed to play that way, and it's another that how the players will play it. So, we need the information, we need the tooltips. Then people can start laying it out, But on first look, it does look special. It does look unique because we don't know anything. But at the same time, I'm pretty excited about it. At the same time, very worried about it. That portal thingy, when I first saw it in the trailer, and when Yoshi P used it, my first impression is, why do you do that? It seems it is two different buttons. One is back to front, and one is what front to back, right? The first thing I look at it is like, it doesn't need to be so complicated. It doesn't need to be this unique. So I could be the one guy that is like, you just want things to be easy. Some of the people in my chat is like, oh, that creates some sort of a skill gap. The moment Yoshi P use it again, Yoshi P it doesn't look like he knows how to play it at all.
He knows
but
how
the
to
moment
play
he press
it. Come on.
Yeah, but the moment he used it, you can tell how uneasy it is. And right after he used the both teleport forward and the teleport backward, he immediately say, okay, guys, by the way, this teleport is still in development. This teleport might not be the final version. I'm like, thank fucking God, because the first look, that is way too tedious. Its second thought, it doesn't need to be. It can flashy, yes, but it doesn't seems like for me, right? Thing about being retreat and get close is it has to be convenient. That does not look convenient.
I mean,
so
I think the idea
luckily
is
he said it.
You use it when a mechanic's happening, you get out of range, right? And then when the mechanic's over, you use it to zoom back in. And it's a little complicated, but I mean, I don't know. It looks cool
The
enough
movement
for me
was
not to
slow.
care.
It was slow.
Was it?
No, it was slow. Yeah,
Okay.
that's bad. That was like one of the first things I noticed was like how slow the teleport actually was. I was like, ooh, I don't know about that. It might be faster just to sprint out and sprint in, or roll with a scholar. They're the sprint healer now. I guess we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that a lot, actually. But no, with Reaper, again, as a new job, it's flashy. It's impossible to know until we know all the tooltips and kind of how it's going to function to really give it a lot of judgment. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to talk about with Reaper in particular?
Man, I think that he was confused as fuck. It looked like he was just hitting buttons looking for one to light up. He was like, "Oh shit, let me hit 4. Okay, 8 lit up. All right, I'll hit this one.
He was showing it. He was demoing it. All right, come on.
Man, he should have did a dry run before the stream. He should have spent at least 5 minutes doing a dry run. All right, man, let me look over here. Let me go. Okay.
The hot bath. Did you see his hot bath? Oh my god.
No, I got a screen cap, dude. I got a screen cap of his UI. I'm gonna rate his UI later. I'm gonna rate his UI, dude. Yo, here's his UI. There's this UI. Look, I'm gonna rate it later.
He's already told me to tell the world racers to shut the fuck up about like him not knowing how to play the game. Let me look at this real quick because I don't know if I remember it.
Oh, there's this UI, dude. I'm gonna do a nice review on it.
I mean, there's not. He just threw this in place. He threw it together last minute. Yeah.
For sure.
Way.
Yes,
well,
for sure.
It's the only footage I got, man.
Okay.
I gotta review it.
All right. Now, the other big stuff is like Monk, right? Monk had some neat stuff going on with it. Like they changed the shoulder tackle. That was a huge deal. Where you can tackle your allies and stuff now. I'm already fucking falling off the board. They're gonna kick me out of like. They're gonna stop inviting me to shit pretty soon, guys.
Hey man, dude, I don't get invited to anything, man.
Oh, fuck.
So
Anyways, with Monk or Ninja or like Dragoon or Samurai, is there anything that you guys wanted to talk about melee wise?
Fucking why do they feel the need to give Dragoon like 9 million AoEs?
Yeah,
that's so weird. Like, dude, Dragoon got like 3 new moves, or 3 new AoE moves, or like 2 new AoE moves. Like, do you really need that? Like, there's a 4-step AoE move. Holy shit, man! Like, you're not even gonna use those in a raid unless they make every raid an AoE raid. Like, why is there?
Or maybe AoE combo. Maybe they're gonna change something to AoE. Because, I mean, we go back, right? How they talk about warrior using AoE, kind of blah, blah. What if, right? AoE combo now work as potent as a normal single target. Except if it's used on a single target, you get more potency. And then if you use it on AoE, you actually, disperse the potency. I don't know. But that was the first thing when I saw Dragoon. I said, why so many AoE? Is this integral part of the rotation? Yes. Okay. How does it work? No. Why do you need so much AoE? Yeah. What mobs, what situation do you need 6 to 7 AoE skills? That was the first thing that came to my mind.
You remember Shadowbringers? They gave everyone like AoE in some way that was like relatively decent AoE, and we were all thinking like, why are they fucking doing this? And they said it's because of dungeons. They just wanted dungeons to be easier. And that was it.
Dragoons specifically get a whole new line.
Yeah, Dragoon specifically though, it got more AoE than like any other job, I think. I don't know why. Dragoon already had a lot of AoE. It was fine.
I mean, maybe they'll start adding that. They'll make multi-target raid stuff like a big deal again, and then you'll bring a Dragoon because you want to do more multi-target stuff. I don't know.
Man, somebody last night during the watch party, somebody was like, man, I hope Samurai gets an AoE Higanbana. When in ever have ads been up for a fucking minute? What the fuck, dude? Are you kidding me? There's no way they thought about that before they typed it. There's no fucking way, man. Like an AoE Higanbana? Like, nah, guys, just chill on the AoE. I got the dot up. Dudes.
I think they're going away from dots in some regard because they got rid of Shadowbang, right?
Yeah.
And then Summoners fucked with AoE, with dots. They don't do dots anymore.
Oh, that was so funny, man. Yo, people, the Twitch chat was in shambles because you know what Twitch chat loves? I'll tell you what, brother. They love 2 things. They love giving advice to streamers, and they love dots, damage over time. It doesn't matter what job. If you're like, man, what would you like to see added to this job? Twitch chat's first answer will always be give it a dot. Just fuck it, give it a dot. Twitch chat loves dots. So that was so funny when they just completely fucking removed all the dots, man. Twitch chat was in shambles. There was a riot. There was everything, dude. It was so funny to see all these people sad that they took all the dots away, man. It was great. I might actually play Summoner now. Summoner looks fucking lit. It looks awesome.
We'll get into that because that's a huge fucking conversation.
Yeah.
We gotta give Melee some justice here before we finish up on him. But I mean, yeah, taking away Shadow Fang. I mean, Ninja. That is not a big deal, I guess. I don't know. Is it?
Oh, you mean Shadow Fang?
I mean, it's cool because it was like the one that you did and you couldn't just immediately put it back on, right? So it's kind of like...
Okay, Shadow Fang for me, I feel the same for Shadow Fang like the way I feel for Sonic Break. I feel like it's one skill... Okay, it's one good skill to have, but if you can only use in a window, you can only use it once a minute, does that one button really justify being on the hotbar that whole time just for that one usage? I didn't like
just
Sonic
flop. Break. It's just bloat.
Yeah. I didn't like Sonic Break. I didn't like Shadow Fang. Now, they removed Shadow Fang because they put in all these new ninjutsu. Oh, man. You know, every single expansion as a ninja main, loving ninja a weep, my biggest worry is one more mudras. They have been avoiding that. And I'm glad that they even come out to say, you know, we understand that we don't want one more mudras. People are very scared. So they did changes to ninjutsu. They make Kasatsu, and then they make Hyoton better, and they make Katon better. Great. Now they make continuation combo for Raiton, and I think Huton, and also Doton. I'm not sure whether they showcased the Doton one, but when he was going on Ninja, I saw some of the hotbar. I saw like Rasengan in there. I don't know where the Chidori is, but oh my god, man. Like, also, I think that was a gap closer. The Raiton into something, I think that's a gap closer. That is also really fucking cool because I always talk about gap closer needs to be fast and convenient. Shukuchi is convenient, but sometimes Shukuchi is just fucking clunky, man. So I'm like as clunky but good, convenient, but as clunky as when I first saw the Reaper teleport. So some of these things for Ninja are really excited. And also most important is, again, they want to build on most of the things that we see. They want to build on the 5.0 system. So for Ninja, this rework has been amazing. This Ninja rework has been freaking awesome. Now, some people will argue, you know, back then it was more fun. 2 dots in Heavensward. How high APM it was in Storm's Blood. Yes, in 5.0, it didn't really translate well into 5.0. They have to rework because it was so fucking clunky, unplayable, really dog shit at the beginning in 5.0. So now they reworked to this. I thought it was really good. I'm so glad that they didn't rework and they built on because I'm really excited for Ninja. Okay. Really good.
Yeah, Ninja looked pretty good, man. Looked pretty good. Monk also looked pretty good. I like the instant transmission shit. That was pretty cool. I'm glad they took away shoulder tackle because gap closers for potency is fucking stupid. Hopefully they do that for all the others. But, you know, whatever. I'm on like a high dose of copium for that. That's never going to happen. Because people love spamming. People love spamming gap closers for potency, dude. They love it. They fucking love it, dude. And I just don't understand. I don't understand how you could put potency on a utility ability. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But Monk looked really good. Monk looked really good. They removed a couple positionals. They removed a positional from Snap Punch and True Strike.
I gotta ask, because I didn't ask you guys before. How are you on time today before we start talking about fucking positionals?
Oh, oof. I mean, I'm gonna do a stream after this and look at the trailer, but I got all day, man.
Okay, all right, because that's actually been a huge fucking talking point in the last few days, right?
All right. Here is my stance. Okay, here's my stance. Yeah. Here's my stance because, dude, Arthars is already molding. He is prepared. Okay, he's already molded for the positionals. Okay, all right. So he's gonna fucking he's already mad. But mine, I don't give a shit if they keep him in or not. I actually think positionals are tedious. I think they're annoying, and the reason why I think they're annoying, I don't think they add depth. I really don't. Especially for jobs like Monk. Like, what the fuck, dude? How the what the fuck? Why does Monk even have positionals? You have 2 stacks of True North plus like Riddle of Earth. Isn't that like over a minute or some shit that you can constantly refresh and stuff of like no positionals? How the fuck is the job with the most positional requirements have the least amount of positional requirements? You know what I mean? Like, how is that even a thing? So, like, me personally, I don't main Melee, so I don't really give a shit if they're in or not. When I do play Melee, I think it's tedious. I think that having to hit an off GCD when I'm in front of the boss for, like, mechanics and shit, I think when I'm doing, like, UCOB and Twintani is constantly fucking turning and I have to hit my True North, I think that's fucking annoying. when I'm doing like uwu and I'm in front of the boss because I'm stacking with the group. I think that's fucking annoying too. So like me, great, remove it, awesome. But if they want to keep him in the game, that's fine too, I guess. I don't really care. I don't feel super strong one way or the other, but if they removed him, I think I would like it better. But this whole, like, in my opinion, man, this whole argument that like positionals add this like super layer of depth, I don't agree with, man. I just don't. If they want to make things harder for melee, then make the rotation harder. Like make it high risk, high reward. The fact that people think that the positionals are what make melee complicated, they didn't play during 3.x. They didn't. Because the rotation itself was just more complicated back then. So
there's a big difference, right? There's a big difference between high risk, high reward, and is it redundant? Is it useless? If it's high risk, high reward, then okay. High risk, high reward meaning you should go for the positional when you know you can't, but you do it, you gain the potency, great. That versus this mechanic must involve this boss turning around because his Twintania is going to turn around and Spitfire. Thankfully, the Fate Breaker has to turn around to target random person for burst strike, and then all these random movement for like the Cloud of Darkness where she will choose a corner. Sometimes she's facing the part that she's gonna go to. Sometimes she's using her ass to tether. Sometimes she go to the front. Sometimes she go to the back. You can't tell. These are the things that doesn't make it's not high risk, high reward. It's just annoyance. So for me, right, if you want to make boss like that, then great. But either you remove positional or you give more true north charges. Like Xeno says, if you're going to give true north charges plus Monk having the 1 minute non-positional requirement, then what's the point of true north / directional?
Well, yeah, like another thing is whenever they buff melee, if you've noticed, they always buff the floor. They'll never buff the okay, so like the whole high risk, high reward from hitting positionals, that is like slowly, completely disappearing over time. Because every time they buff a melee, it's always the floor. It's always when you fuck up the positional. It's never when you get it right. It's always when you fuck up the positional. Because so many people fuck up the positional. Okay, here we go. I'll do what they did. So you got people that fuck up the positional. You got people that don't fuck up the positional. They buff the floor to try to so like even when you hit a positional, it's not as rewarding now as it used to be, like back in 3.x. So
and also stuff like trick attack.
Yeah.
For example.
Yeah. Man, these fucking kids that are like, yeah, that's right, these kids. That's right, I'm 36 and I'm using my age here. These kids that are like, man, positionals are what make melee. Nah, motherfucker, you don't even know. You didn't play back in the day when Dragoons had heavy thrust or fucking disembowel, or like, the back requirement on disembowel. I remember for Dragoon, you couldn't even finish your combo unless you hit the positional. Now that's fucking high risk, high reward. Okay, bring that back. Bring that shit back. And all these people that are like, no, melee positionals are interesting. Nah, they'll be singing a whole other tune. I remember back in what fight was it? Oh man, it was Kalia. It was a Kalia with the tethers. I remember the Dragoon I went with was raiding with the during that raid tier. He was a full thrusting Dragoon. He was a full thrusting Dragoon because he couldn't get to the back sometimes because of the fucking tethers. That's all he did. He was like, nah, man, I'm not even chancing it. I don't want to die. I don't want to die and kill like my tether partner. Fuck it. I'll just full thrust my whole way. Fuck it. So that's what you had to do. Like whenever you had to stack in front, you couldn't even do that ability.
This is why I positional back then I can understand. Today 5.0 content, I feel like it's on the tipping point where we don't need it anymore. I mean, look at what they literally did. They raised the floor. Number one. Number two, they give you one more true north charges. Number three, more and more bosses are being designed where there's no more positional requirement. Like you look at Eureka, you look at Xeno, you look at some of the bosses like big ass hitbox, those big bosses like you know what I mean, like Titan Maximum. So it's like, don't tell me no positional equals not fun. No, positional is outdated in this game already. Now moving forward, now if they want to keep positional as it is now in 5.0, okay. All I ask for, maybe one more true north charges for Dragoon. Ninja 2 charge is okay. I don't play more, I don't know. Samurai 2 charge is okay. Dragoon needs more than 2 charges. Okay? And then number 2, if you want to go for no positional, you want to remove positional, make bosses more crazy like what it is today. You know, people tell me, right? This is one example. People always tell me, dude, I hate Burst Strike so much, man, on the Fate Breaker, because the Burst Strike will target one random party member, then you know where it's gonna cleave, right? Back and forth, right? You know what people told me? Oh, it's very easy, Arthars. You just get the whole group to either stand on one side at the front or one side at the back, so that it will only predictably not turn, or it will predictably only turn to you. So you know where to go for position. It doesn't change anything. You still have to adjust. And the boss mechanic is worked in this way where it's random, it's cool, it's random, it's great. I like it. Twintania turning around, great. Cloud of Darkness turning around, great. Gaia sometimes turning around, great. It's because positional sometimes is not about the melee. It's about the fucking tank. Some tank cannot position properly. Some tank cannot face True North properly. Some tanks are slow and they do boss relative. Sometimes they are good, they position True North. Sometimes they bring the Eden Promise after the statue and beam, they bring it to south only to turn it back. No, it's not our fault as a melee that we have to deal with tanks' incompetency to position the boss properly. For us, sometimes it's not our fault. So it's not fun for us, right? And then for Square Enix, as a balancing standpoint, okay, fuck, man, guys, we need to raise the floor. Because these poor melees not only have to deal with positionals, they also have to deal with shitty-ass players in the parks that just can't get them that trick attack they can from the back. We need to remove the requirement, apply it, or we need to, potency increase if they don't hit positional. You see what I mean? Just remove it. It will be balanced. It will be a lot balanced. Melee biggest problem, right, is always balancing based on the usual. And then you have to balance for the high-level players, the people that can hit all, and the players who can only hit 50% positional. They have to find that middle sweet spot. And then boss mechanics are being better and better designed. It's more fun. We start seeing from Hollow World, and then we start seeing from Brute Justice CC. We start seeing from bosses that spin all over the fucking place. It's a good time to finally just remove it. I would love it to remove it. But if they don't remove it, and they want to keep it the intensity like it is, that's fine. But if they want to move forward and make more crazy bosses, then I think they should remove it. So I'm with Xeno. You want to take it away? Fine. You don't want to take it away? I'm also fine. But don't tell me positional is what makes melee fun. It's what makes melee challenging.
Yeah, there's too many. There's a lot of people that are like, man, positionals make melee fun. Like, no, they really don't actually. Maybe that was true back in the day when you were rewarded like a lot, but over time they've raised the floor, and it they give you so much stuff to prevent positionals, right? So like True North, Real Avert, that like type of shit. They give you that. And they're also removing positional requirements on certain abilities, right? Like Monk just got 2 positional requirements removed. So at that point, we're in this weird space where it's like we left them in the game so that you guys think that there's some type of level of intricacy here, but at the same time, we also have these abilities that completely remove that you can keep up pretty frequently. So at that point, I don't know, why even have them in the fucking game? But like I said, man, I don't give a shit either way. I'm not I'm thinking about this from, I guess, from a perspective of I'm not really attached to, I guess, one way or the other. So I don't have any personal feelings invested in this. I'm just looking at it from a casual fucking melee player. So I can go either way, man. If they want to keep them, which I mean they are, that's fine. But also I can get why people think that it's really fucking annoying. Because having to pop True North so much in a fight, that is fucking annoying. It's very tedious. I don't if you think that's fun, we have a very different definition of fun.
Hey man, there's a lot of different types of people who play Final Fantasy 14.
Whew, that's true.
That
is true.
Anyways, I guess if we can move on to Magical here, because we did talk about it a little bit. I mean, because this is huge. This is fucking major. Summoner is the changes they made to Summoner is making a whole new job. They just completely threw away a job and made a whole new one. which I think, at least from what I can see, they did what they should have done with Summoner. But I don't really know. I want to hear your opinions on it.
No, I think it's awesome. Now, what they did with Summoner is badass, because like now it's like not about this like, I don't know, edgy so much, you know? Like, I don't know, the edgies were always like really stupid, I thought, but I don't know. I'm not a Summoner main dude, so I don't know. I just thought they were kind of stupid. But now it's like you summon the primal. So now it's like kind of like from the Final Fantasy series where you just summon it and you they do an attack and then they go away. But it's like but it adds an extra step, right? So in like the trailer, you know, they summon Titan. He did Earth and Fury or whatever. And then you got like earth-based attacks, which I thought was badass. And then the same thing for like Ifrit, the same thing for Garuda. So what they did was fucking awesome, I thought. Like I've never really been interested in Summoner very much, but just seeing all that, the fucking rework, I thought was awesome. I was actually really interested in the job.
Yeah. I play a lot of Summoner.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's also next level too. This is where Yoshi P is a fucking genius because they knew that Scholar was going to be dog shit, right? So they're like, oh fuck, what are we going to do? So they're like, oh, boom, got it. Let's make Summoner completely fucking badass so that when people level it, by default, they'll have a Scholar. There you go.
Okay.
So now that's how they pad their Scholar level numbers. That's how they're fucking padders.
What were you saying, Arthur?
Right.
You said you main it? Or you don't main it, but you played a lot?
I main Summoner like 2.0, I played 3.0, I played 4.0. Over time, I just didn't like to play Summoner, slowly, because of how I felt. It doesn't feel Summoner. You know, when they put in the Bahamut, I thought it was cool. When we only had the Agi in 2.0, it is what it is. You know, at the first time, you don't really think too much. But then when they put in Bahamut, the first time, you're like, oh shit, this is what Summoner should be. I want to be with this primer, and then we do like big shit. And then when they introduce Phoenix, it's like, yes, this is how it should be, bouncing between these two, and it feels like you are using them the way you want it to be. And then in between, you got the Agi. At the beginning, right, we have situation even in raids, single target or not, we have situation that use Garuda because of how they extend dots. They remove that, and then you know, some situation, even if you don't use the I don't even remember what is that ability called, that and increase the duration of double the duration of the dots. But there are situations that use Ifrit. So it's like no, not faster.
I can't remember. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a very already whatever. Contagion, yeah.
Contagion,
so
okay.
Eventually, right, it's like this Agi's only difference is just either I can prolong my thoughts, or it's better that I've Titan. And then Titan wasn't even in the picture like totally at all. Eventually, nobody even used Titan except for like super, cringe min-maxing. So it's like, dude, this Agi system is out of place, man. And also how clunky pets are in general, how they queue slower, and then they change and put Agi Assault, which is totally the spamming Ruin is already annoying already. And then you have to use Agi Assault just for filler, and then they don't really like significantly change anything. They do give you a guaranteed proc rate, but it always never felt like this is something going forward. It doesn't look like, yes, you know what I always say, developers are always constantly finding this sweet spot, how something is balanced or how something is fun to play, like they find for most of the job in this game. Summoner, they never find that spot, right? So I was like, you just have to make Agi better. You just have to make the Agi better.
See, right? You gotta oil that shit. You gotta fucking oil that.
Nah, dude. I like it, man. I like it, dude.
Yeah. So I was saying like, they have to make the Agi better. Or they just put in Alexander. They put in Alexander.
I thought they were gonna summon Alexander, man.
Same.
I thought so.
That's the easy way. If you want to keep the current, if you think the current system is okay, you throw in Alexander. Then you just juggle between the three Elder Primer, and then you like maybe make it 10 second each, 15 second each, instead of like 20. Reduce the duration, but your 3-minute rotation now involves one more Alexander, right? That's what I thought. But I always felt like they should make the Agi work just like how Phoenix works, work just like how like Bahamut work. One or the other, somewhere in the middle. And I think they found it, right? Every Agi now have a specific set of skill and limit time. Like I think Ifrit is about casting but big damage, and I think you only got like 2 charges or something. I didn't really like fully study it. And then your your Garuda and your Titan has got like 4 charges that you can like move around, and then like if you also gotta get closer, something like that. So I feel like now they hit that spot where every primal seems to be, rather than standing there and ruin. Now you actually like you play like the primal itself in the form of summoner. So I'm very excited to see how it works, but there's a little bit of clunkiness I still feel when on the trailer is one thing, and then when Yoshi P do it and then you start seeing those GCD roll, you kind of feel like maybe Yoshi P wants to do it slowly. But
okay, yeah, that's what I think, Arthas. All right, all right. So
but
there was a
Summoner
lot of
really good.
Instacast, man. It was pretty cool. A lot of Instacast.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
To people who like might not completely comprehend how much fucking work this is, they're gonna have to go back and change all the fucking story quests. They're gonna fucking change everything just because none of this shit lines up with what Summoner was. Like, there's so much shit they're gonna have to do to have this new job implemented. I mean, it's a new job, and I'm hype as shit, and you can maximize all the fucking primals too, right? And so it makes just this giant explosions all around you. Imagine
Man,
not
I like
having
how they
other
went out of their
players-
way.
Imagine
Or sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, imagine not having other players' effects turned off for this shit.
Oh,
And just-
fuck that, dude. I'm turning off all that shit. I like how they went out of their way to say that you should not be a Titan only summoner. And went out of their way to say that.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's just like with Black Mage. Now you use fire and ice at the same time, right? It's to incentivize ice mages to at least attempt to use a fire spell. Because if you want to use every ice spell, you got to use one of these with a fire one. Yeah. That's why they mix them, dude. They raise the floor. See, this is next level. This is next level, dude. This is next level brain activity.
Well, the one good thing I think that, well, I don't know if it's good or not. I kind of want to hear your opinions about Res.
Oh yeah,
in.
I saw somebody talking about it. I was like, when are we?
The
gonna
Res
go?
almost got removed from Summoner, man.
Yeah. I wanted it, but I love fucking chaos, dude. I love fucking pissing off the entire community.
Summoners are shaking in their boots right now, man.
If you want to remove rest, then you also have to remove Red Mage rest. Then that will be fine. That would be fine. Our only choices of rest will only come from healers. I would have been okay with that. But if you are debating just for Summoner whether to remove rest, then what about your Red Mage? You can't have that. Why don't I think Summoner rest is okay, right? It's mainly it's punishing because you have to stand there to cast 7 seconds, or you only get a swift rest in every minute. And because you are a DPS, most DPS will use swift for DPS. So most likely you won't have that option to instant rest, right? Usually, right? And then the risk is the 7 seconds rest. I don't understand why they don't just give Black Mage 10 minute CD rest, a 6 minute CD rest, a rest that a Black Mage can only use once a pool. That totally changes everything. Now, fuck job identity, right? Just think about utility. All you have to give is one rest, one charge for Black Mage in the pool. That changes everything. You can just bring a Black Mage to proc. You can just bring a Black Mage to park. You will be glad to see a Black Mage in your party. You can only do it once, but honestly, Summoner usually, you can only bet on you can bet your money on Summoner that over the course of a 10-minute fight, a Summoner maybe can only give you like 1 or 2 really good rests, right? Most Summoner don't even stand there to cast. Even if you are full timing, progging mindset to hard cast rest, you can't pull it off, right? So even the Summoner only get like maybe 2 to 3. A Red Mage is unlimited, but just give Black Mage 1, man. That's all they have to do. That balance everything. But we are talking about them debating about removing rest. How do you go? You should be looking
just give
at
it
Black
to
Mage.
another job. You know, just give it to give
Right.
it to a melee or something, or give it to a range, dude, like a physical range, dude. Give it to Machinist and he can shock people to life. I don't know.
I think it was. I think they didn't remove it because it's on Arcanist. That's why I don't think they removed it. That's why I think.
When do you think they're gonna change that up, dude? Like when are they
Fucking
gonna, like...
never, dude. That code's as old as fucking the dinosaurs, man. They're never gonna change that. It's like the founding structure, man.
Yeah, it's such a weird.
To change that, they'd have to like change so much shit. Probably, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. But yeah, no, Summoner looks like it's gonna be fucking sweet. I think a lot of people are gonna be excited to go back and play that. The other
Dude,
thing,
why do they change Summoner every expansion and Monk every expansion? Why do they do that? You know why there's no Monk mains? Because they're tired of learning a new job every fucking year. That's why no one plays Monk. No one plays a shitty job. It's because it's different every year.
I guess so. I don't know. They didn't really. Anyways, we're done with melee. Fuck, we're done with melee, dude.
Yeah.
We're working on magical shit now, and shit like I don't know. Red Mage looked like it had a shield added to it, right?
Yeah, no, Red Mage is gonna be lit, I think, dude. They have that res, they can heal, and now they have like a party buff. But they didn't really say what the party buff was though.
It's just probably a bubble.
He did hint like it's really strong. So I mean, to be fair, you give another job. I mean, it looks like a barrier. I assume it obviously mitigates AoE damage, like red white, right?
It's like a
just having that option is itself, even if it's only 10%, 5% is pretty huge already. You know? It makes red mage just. Ooh, I'm very excited, really, and the combos.
It's gonna be good.
The combos. I always complain about why Verflare, Verholy, and Scorch is not innately AoE. I'm glad that they put it in. Right, that's one thing, and also like, okay, to be fair, right, Red Mage is either gonna be two things. You're gonna expand your melee combo, which I hope they don't. Dude, why is the Red Mage melee 1.5 enchanted combo not like Gunbreaker Gnashing Fang? One button for them all. I mean, okay, Red Mage don't have a lot of buttons to begin with, but I would have loved that, you know, because it's 1.5 second GCD, right? Sometimes when you spam it, it queues up. I mean, very rare, like maybe 1% of the time. But it just fucks me up, right? I kind of wish that it's like Gnashing Fang, you know, one button for 3 combo. And then the only way they can expand it is to give Scorch one more, which they did. And I don't think it's a button blow. It's just going to be another like job replacing by Scorch, replacing by the new skill. But overall, I mean, I always thought Red Mage since Storm's Blood release has been simple, but not over simple, and quite balanced, not troublesome. Like Red Mage, Samurai, Gunbreaker, Dancer were really great job that they released. So I'm glad to see that Red Mage, Samurai, Gunbreaker didn't really change anything, because if it ain't broken, then fix it, right? And then Red Mage getting all these extra tools. My only problem is that they didn't address Embolden. Please, my media tour friends, if you guys go to the server, some of you in chat, if you are in chat, if you guys go there, please feedback Embolden. If it's still physical for physical for party and then magical for self, please go tell Yoshi P, please make it across the board flat. Obviously need some adjustment if you make it flat 10% across the board, but please, that is a problem. They did not address that. I'm really upset about that. So please, that is my only problem with Red Mage. Yeah.
What about Black Mage? Do we think anything about Black Mage? I'm trying to remember if they had anything like. I mean, they have ice and fire mixing together, some cool graphical stuff. I don't.
Just more ways to do damage.
Yeah.
More ways.
They
to
went
do
on for.
Yeah.
They went on for a while for like the numbering of their abilities and how they had to make a new word up for fire and stuff like that. But
yeah.
The Enochian.
Like Enochian's a trait. They said Enochian was a trait, but like you kind of like never lost it or whatever. So, ley lines is still 90 seconds. Feels fucking bad. Feels fucking bad, dude.
Hey man, it's not a major ability.
I guess.
Yeah, it's not a major burst ability. It's like a 40% of his usage is about moving around the place, right? It's not like inner release, these 3 GCDs for burst. Like, you know, ley lines is for a lot of people strategically using it for movement, for upcoming mechanic, is part of like what makes Black Mage great, right? If you make it 60 seconds, if you make a ability strictly just for burst window, just for DPS output, then then ley lines, honestly, burst window is where we all stand there full uptime. That's why you call it burst window. That's why we shift things to the burst window so that we all stand still, right? If ley line is not 60 seconds, then what's the point of it being utility-wise instead of movement, right? So I think they, for Yoshi P as a black mage himself, he probably look at ley lines like, yeah, I use this, and a lot of black mage also use this for movement, strategical purpose. So, it being a 90-second, wouldn't funnel it to be just straight up burst. Now people can actually still use it for strategical purposes.
Yeah. I mean, like, all this being said about like magical stuff, how do you guys think physical range is feeling right now? You think they're fucking feeling like, hey, great, we're not really support role.
I think Bard mains are in shambles. They probably can't even hear their own music still. What the fuck, dude? Every Bard is deaf, apparently. I didn't know that. Every Bard is deaf.
I just think physical range is where it should be. 5.0 physical range is where a physical range should be. Always at the bottom. That's what they are.
They fucking... Go ahead.
The only thing about them is that they can stay at the bottom, which they should stay at the bottom. The only thing is that what should make them feel better is that they should be actually really providing the utility and support, like a dancer. That's why Dancer felt like the best physical range. Dancer felt like what a physical range defines what it is, what it should be. Astrologer, Machinist in a way, yes, but sadly, is the one that drew the shorter stick. So I play a lot of Bard in 2.0, 3.0, right? Like when we were just straight up support physical range. So when I play a little bit of Bard here and there, leveling up, I'm like, what the fuck is this songs, man? Like, you call this a song? The first thing they addressed was that the song now also buffed nearby. I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. Maybe that will raise our DPS a little bit. But overall, in general, I'm not a physical range. I'm not going to go too much into like details of how I feel. But I always feel those 3 physical range should always be at the bottom of the table. So all DPS job, physical range should always be here.
You said physical range is exactly where it should be or what it should be and everything. Are you referring to just like brain dead? I mean, I don't. What are we talking about?
No.
No, it's like
in terms of numbers.
Yeah, it's like it's like the easiest, the freedom of movement. They can move wherever the fuck they want. They always have full uptime. The DPS should be where the DPS is.
Yes, the numbers. Yeah.
There's no reason why a range should deal more than like another DPS.
I mean, so every time I do a range physical show and we talk about it, everyone comes on and they just straight up say it's the starter range job. You go into it because it's easy to play, it's simple and everything else, and you don't want more difficult stuff, so you don't do magical range DPS. Is that true? Do you guys agree with that?
I mean,
Dude, all right. I live vicariously through Stal when I watch Stal play range. Okay, so like that's So I mean, I don't know, man.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems, dude. She just does whatever the fuck she wants and has full uptime. So I'm like, damn, man, I'm jealous.
For me, it's like, I mean, like I said, they are at the bottom 3 DPS right now. So if they stay there, then how they are, the playstyle they are now, or quote unquote brain dead, that's fine, because no matter how much brain power you conjure, if you're playing with similar skilled players or groups, then your damage will always be at the bottom. If you look at the past, if you compare the best players, roles, if you break down by roles, the 3 physical range is always at the bottom. That is what it should be. And if it's that way, then I wouldn't matter how your playstyle is, how easy your playstyle is, because that's the reward, right? Easy to play, bottom 3. That for me, that's fine. Now, my problem will only be if they play brain dead versus somebody who squeeze out giga brain their way as another DPS, and just by being brain dead, you can do as much or almost very close to somebody who play perfectly melee. Then I would say that is a problem, right? Then I would say physical range needs to be like have some sort of restriction. They did it. They did it in Heaven's Word. They introduced a cast bar. Right?
Oh,
you
God, dude.
Lesser damage. You want good damage, you have a cast bar. So that if you don't want to go back, then that's fine. I personally think there's also other ways to do it. Proximity damage, right? There should be a sweet spot. 5 to 15 yums, you do 100% damage. Point blank to the boss, you do 90%. Too far away, you do 90%. Like something like that. But again, right? We talk about the floor, right? They want to raise this, right? If they do that, if they bring back Hasba, if they do proximity damage, then that will bring it down, right? So I don't think they will ever do that. But
Oh, they're never gonna bring that back, man.
yeah, at the moment where they are, I think it's fine.
Yo, Heaven's Ward, Bard, and Machinist were fucking busted.
Dude,
They did more
love Heaven's
damage
Ward
than
Machinist.
anybody, man. What the fuck,
Yeah,
dude?
they are fucking.
Oh my
yeah.
god. Yo, Machinist doing all that damage, plus they have hypercharges. It buffs the raid. What the fuck
Yeah,
was that,
yeah.
dude?
Get a Dragoon
Yo,
in there.
if people want to go back to Heaven's Ward, no, you don't. You don't want to go back to Heaven's Ward. You really don't. You think you do. You think you do, but you don't. Because man, we got people that are like in fucking Shadowbringers. They just started in Shadowbringers. They're like, man, they need to bring back stance dancing. It's like, motherfucker, you don't even know what stance dancing was. I had a person in the chat during the live letter was like, man, I wish they'd bring back stance dancing because it made the game more fun and stance dancing on Dark Knight was great, but Warrior was AIDS. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You only stance dance on Warrior, man. Don't get this shit confused. What are you talking about? Get the fuck out of here. Just ban him, dude. Ban him for being stupid, not using his brain. Ban him for being weird. Like, I feel like people that say that type of stuff, they just say that because they heard it from someone else. They didn't actually think about it. You know, like stance dancing only existed in the first week of Prague. That was it. After that, the tank stance came off so fucking fast, man. And the only tank that even did that was Warrior. People just like saying it because it rhymes. They don't actually know what it means. They didn't play back then. They have no fucking clue what they're talking about. They just say it to say it. You know, so like what they did was good. I kind of ran it on that, but anyway, my point being is you don't want to go back to Heaven's Ward, man. You don't fucking want to go back there, dude. You don't want to.
Okay.
Paladin mains would be shaking right now.
Hey man, look, I fucking did it, dude. Go ahead, Arthur.
Heavensward feels like a war. You know, you are that veteran soldier. You go to the war. You came out from it. You're like, oh man, that was quite an experience, man. You know, nobody wants to go back. That same guy who came up with that from that halftime unscathed or like have scar over him, he feels very good now because he's like, yes, I'm a war veteran. Nobody wants to go back. Yeah.
No, you don't want to go back. People say they do, but they don't. And the people that say they do, they didn't even play back then. They just, you know, like I said, they just fucking. It's like this dumbass game of telephone. You know, they heard it from somebody else, so then they're gonna regurgitate it, and they don't even know what it means. Like, it's now for me personally, I actually liked some of the jobs in Heaven's Ward. Like, I thought Warrior was awesome. I thought Dark Knight was awesome. You know, I thought Dragoon was awesome. Ninja was awesome. But you know, you don't want to go back there because it's not good for the game. I mean, it's good for like me personally, and I'm sure other people might feel the same way depending on what job you play. But for the game as a whole, no, it's not good. It's fucking horrible. The changes they made since then has been good.
The millions of people who are playing the game right now from WoW probably wouldn't stick nearly as well as they are, right?
Yeah, no.
If it was back then, so yeah. That being said, the one thing about physical range, I guess they threw it. I don't know how important this is. What was it? The party-wide defensive skills adjusted to 90-second cooldowns.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It just like lines up with like tank stuff too, so it just makes it better.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know. The biggest thing that I got out of the physical range part of it, was that picture of the bard they had on the screen. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Oh, God. Oh, dude, that picture was like, man.
Who green-lighted that? Who saw that? It was like, this is a representation of bards. We should put this on the screen.
I don't know. But that was a face of like, face of great confusion, concern, surprise, amazement.
It was weird.
Yeah.
And then they did the other thing where they said they're trying to make dancers simpler or something. They said those words and I just didn't know how fucking I don't know. Dancer seems so fucking simple to me. Like I think it's probably, I don't know. You all have a better scope of jobs than I do in playing them and what's really simple. But I think Dancer is the simplest job that I played.
It's pretty easy.
I can't think of
Can I talk about the bard? Can I talk about the bard picture real quick?
Sure. Yeah. Good. Bard picture. Do it.
Would you guys rather have the bud picture or you guys rather have a fruit panel?
Oh.
Like,
We're gonna go with the
that's
safe bet. We're gonna go with the safe bet. I want a bowl of fruit.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't want to offend anybody. I want the bowl of fruit, man.
Oh, I made a joke that I don't think people cared for too much when we saw the shirt from Yoshida. Right? It was a hand and it was touching an off button, right? And I thought maybe that was like a reference to Blizzard, right? To keep their hands off, right? I don't
probably.
I
didn't think about that, dude.
it was the only thing.
I bet it was.
I mean, I don't know. People were trying to analyze that, but that's the only thing I could think of when I saw it. I don't know why.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just fucked up.
Yoshi throwing some shade, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Anyways, no bowls of fruit right now in Final Fantasy 14 because I think half the people would quit playing Final Fantasy 14.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Jesus Christ. Okay, healers. All right. Healers has a lot of shit to talk about, I think. I guess we should... I want to just talk about Scholar real quick. I don't want to get into Sage, but fucking sprint tied to a defensive ability.
It's just kind of weird, man. I don't know. Like, it's just like one of those abilities that you're not going to balance anything around it. So, like, why have it in the game? Like, you're not going to balance a mechanic around having that sprint up. I'm not going to say that it's as bad. I mean, I think it's okay. I just think that it's never going to be needed. I just think putting an ability in the game dead on arrival, never going to be needed, is kind of pointless.
It's going to be removed. It's absolutely going to be removed or changed in some way.
They're gonna change. Yes, I think they will change in some way. It's like shake it off. It's like shake it off in 4.0.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel okay, what are you going to do the fight with? Oh, having this is going to have an advantage. Then don't you just break the very balance that you are trying to make? Or you don't really need it. It's just something then why put it in? It's the same as... That's the first thing that came to my mind, like shake it off. Like, I think that's the first ability that is going to be... You know, Square Enix, every new expansion, whenever they do something new, there's always going to be a list of things that is first most complained, and then that first thing... every expansion, by the way, there will be this one thing that will be immediately be looked at and then immediately at some point either rework or change. And that ability, the sprint right there, is one of them. That's how that's what I think.
I mean, it's going to be used to troll people, or it's just going to fucking confuse the fuck out of people in Party Finder, right? Because you do one group and you're like, okay, I got to run to the spot at this time, and you're used to that. Then you get a Scholar in there, and you're like, holy fuck, I just overshot and ran off the side, right? Because they just don't... They're not going to get used to it because it's going to change from group to group.
I mean, so, I don't know. Fucking Twitch chat's on that copium, dude. They're like, man, but you can use it for melee uptime. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, I can't think of a single instance where that buff would have helped me gain melee uptime, whereas just sprint doesn't. I just literally think people want it to be good, but it's actually going to be... It's going to be like cover is now. It's going to be in the game. You're going to use it maybe 1% of the time. It's super niche. It's never going to be balanced around. Like it's never going to be included in any type of strategy outside of some wacky speedrun shit or something, you know, which is virtually never. I just think that... I just think they had no fucking ideas. I just think we were like, yo, we put all the work into Sage, so we got to give Scholar something. They just pulled a random idea out of a hat. Oh, sprint. Okay, let's just give them that. That's what I think. I just like, I don't think it's bad.
Okay.
But I don't think it's good. I don't know.
Here's what I think though. because it's so niche, literally anything you can think of that you can throw in the healer kit would have been better than it, right? Another cure, haze buff, some healing, but anything, literally anything that you can throw in the mix would have been better than the sprint. But here's the thing, here's what I think. What if, a lot of people keep saying, giving shit to Scholar, right? How come Scholar don't have anything? The only thing that we get is a sprint. But what if Scholar is that good? To them, they feel like, fuck, we designed a Sage to compete with Scholar directly. And then they do so much. Sage is, when I look at Sage, we will talk about it later, Sage is over the top. Again, but we don't have any two tips. But just based on effect, just based on what they have to do, it's way over the top. You look at that, you compare to Scholar, and Square Enix really couldn't find anything else to give except for a fucking sprint. Maybe Scholar is that good. You know, remember what I always say? If it ain't broken, don't fix it.
Yo,
What
remember
if it's
people
that good?
Yo, people shit on White Mage at the beginning of Shadowbringers. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yup. People memeing it and shitting on it, and it's fucking busted, dude. It is insane. It's fucking insane. It's so easy. It's so easy. Dude, you spam one button, you do more damage than a tank. You got so many free heals. You just do whatever the fuck you want, dude. It's so good. Yo, maybe Scholar's going to be like that. Maybe, yo, you know what? Maybe we can go back to a Realm Reborn. Fuck this Astro Sage bullshit. Maybe we going back to the roots, baby. We going White Mage Scholar.
Yeah.
In 6.0.
I feel Scholar is good in. I believe Square Enix think that Scholar is good enough. That's why they don't need to give them anything, and this is the only thing they can come up with, and that's why we don't see anything because Scholar just gonna be good. Yeah, Copium. I like Scholar. Scholar is my favorite healer. I love Scholar, but maybe Scholar is good enough. You know?
So, one quick point on the sprint again. I think like when we're comparing to like cover's just a fuck cover, right? It's just fucking there. It's like a trick every once in a while you can do. You don't use it, but with the sprint, it's going to be used on a regular basis because it's attached to a defensive cooldown. So it's always going to be fucking thrown in there and just be awkward and out of place. I think that's where the mistake is. It's separated into another ability and it's just like a trick that you can do on the side, sure. But being fucking always present and just throwing people off and being weird and uncomfortable to use, I think that's where it's going to fail. But that
sprint,
being,
like,
go ahead.
Or sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to go to a different topic, so go ahead and.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, having sprint when you don't expect it, that can really fuck you up.
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to get uptime, and you're at the peak of your max melee, and then you sprint out, you move out to move back in. But if you have sprint on and you don't realize it, you're gonna move in too fast and probably get hit or some shit.
Yeah,
so,
and fucking
it can fuck you up. Like people in chat are like, "Oh, fucking melee uptime." I don't think you know how to get melee uptime. I think you just know how to type out the words melee uptime. I don't think you actually fucking know, but that can fuck you up.
Yeah, it
fuck
can
you up
really
hard.
fuck you up, especially in Party Finder, because that's where I'm thinking. I'm always thinking Party Finder in these scenarios. And Force March, like everybody's fucking sees it already, right? It's just going to fucking kill so many people. And the thing is, it's not going to kill people always because they're intentionally trying to kill people. It's going to be because people don't fucking know what they're doing and they press it because they're like, oh, I gotta defend people, and then they just fucking kill their friends because they don't fucking know how to. That's the level of Final Fantasy 14 that we're like trying to balance the game towards, is people who don't read their tooltips. So
I think it's fucking weird. Like you were saying earlier. Literally any other healing ability would have been better. Why of all the abilities, why sprint though? I don't wonder. I think in like niche spots it could be really good. I do, but it's like, you know that large gentleman meme. It's like that large gentleman, and he's like, "But why though?" It's literally that. It's literally that. I feel like
because Scholar is that good already. The fairy ability are now good already, you know? It's that good already. It's as good as Sage already. That's why they don't need anything else.
Well,
I don't know.
People are definitely on the Sage train. Like, they saw that, and I mean, like, it sounds good. It, like, fucking looks good. It fucking, like, is the Chad. It's literally a Chad fucking walking into the room. and it's just very difficult to compete with how good it looks. I mean, it could be fucking balanced. It could be where Scholar might be a little bit stronger, but man, do you feel fucking cool shooting a goddamn 6 laser beams out of the one point to attack, and then you're healing your friend while you're fucking just blowing somebody up, right? That feels good. So, like, in that whole, like, situation, Sage is just going to win out in cool factor.
Cool factor. You know, when I saw Sage, the very first thing I told Xeno is, that's a dancer right there. That was your 5.0 dancer. When Blue Mage was supposedly a DPS, you know, Shadowbringer, when they wanted to do 3 DPS, where Blue Mage was supposed to be the DPS, not 3 DPS, 3 jobs. Blue Mage was supposed to be the DPS. Scholar was supposed to be the dancer. That right there looks exactly like dancer, except shooting lasers. But if you mainly look at, I saw the 2 teams already, by the way. My complaint, not complaint, my concern about Scholar is that because we don't have any Scholar 2 teams, that's why we don't know why Scholar didn't get much attention. But maybe because once we see the 2 teams, Scholar might actually be as good or better than Sage. Another copium, I get it, but we wouldn't know. We'll find out next month, right? But back to Sage. When I look at Sage, I look at the 2 teams. I look at how it works, supposedly how it plays. That right there is a dancer. That was what dancer should have been. But you couldn't run an expansion without a DPS, right? You can't release an expansion with a limited job DPS. That's why Scott Dancer had to be changed. We didn't have a 4th healer. Now we get it. We get a new one. It looks just how back then in 5.0 I thought Dancer would have been played as a healer. Exactly like that. And then they have the dance partner heal. I'm like, oh god, yep.
Yeah. Fucking shit, dude. Like, I don't know. I do think like that whole heal your friend when you do damage stuff is slightly overhyped, because I mean the fairy's just gonna fucking heal someone too at the same time. So I mean, when you're boiling somebody, you're still healing somebody too, right?
Well, it's like the play style. So like there was a really cool healer in Rift, and a bunch of people said it was also similar to like Disc Priest. But I don't know about that, because I have self-respect. I don't play that game. But anyway, but back in Rift, there was a job called Chloromancer, and you actually healed your party and tank by dealing damage to the enemy, which was fucking badass. And that's what it reminded me of. So I think, like, I mean, I'm definitely gonna level it. I'm gonna level White Mage and Sage, because I'm not. I don't really like pet jobs, and I don't like the cards anymore. They made it a little too tedious for me. And it seems like, I don't know, like this is just my personal. I mean, I'm a fucking casual healer, dude. I'm shit at the game when it comes to healing. So so I'm just a casual healer. But anyway, I'm gonna be leveling Sage and White Mage, and the biggest reason why I'm leveling Sage is just simply because it doesn't have a pet. But it also like looks really cool, so I'm interested in the gameplay style. I don't know if it's gonna be interesting, because depending on how it works, right? The amount of damage you do might heal more. If that's the case, then they might nerf it, because you'll run into these healers that will play Sage and don't deal any damage and won't heal at all.
I was going to say that.
So that might be an issue.
Can you imagine? You play we got healers that can't even DPS. You make a job that you have to heal while DPS. I think a lot of healers probably can't play that job. I think they wouldn't understand. But if they do, then maybe our whole community, JP included, Annie included, JP, Annie healers, maybe that will raise overall, the potency of party damage, in both community. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Sage is the one that we need, so the healer finally understand, holy shit, doing DPS is actually not that hard, Hopefully.
Well, they can't possibly make it any fucking easier. You have one ability, that's it. Just spam this one ability and you deal as much damage as a tank. And they also lowered the cast now, so now it's all going to be like 1.5, which I think is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is.
But it kind of makes me wonder, like, what they're gonna do with like the lilies, right? Because like the whole point of White Mage and like the lilies was to make it easier to move. So, like, if like glare is like 1.5 seconds, then you're. I mean, which is great. but it kind of makes those heals like less like you use them less now for movement, and you're probably gonna end up wasting some of them, I guess. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I could be wrong on that. I just think that like white mage, it with like the lily heals, you use them a lot for movement too. So, but now you don't need to do that. So I guess it's just all around better. Actually, I guess it's just all around better. It just kind of makes those moves just a teeny bit less good, but I guess it's not an issue.
I mean, they get a little healing well or whatever they get over on the side. White mages do. I don't know what the
fuck. I saw that.
I don't know if that's going to be like it, just like an earthly star or something. I don't know what it translates to because it seemed like it was automatic.
Probably.
But yeah, it didn't seem like there's too much that went on with white mage outside of that I saw. It does seem Astro. It looked like it was kind of the same. I don't know. Was there anything in particular with Astro that really stood out?
That fucking shooting star ability or whatever the fuck it was, man.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah,
man, I wish we would have saw.
I just think finally, the one thing that stood out for me for Astro is that nothing changed. Finally, maybe because of having a fourth healer, finally Square Enix sit down and finally like, yes, okay, again, I say this, a developer is always finding the perfect spot that they finally rest and say, yes, this is okay. So maybe finally after 3 expansion, Astrologian finally found that spot. Thank fucking God. All the Astrologian main for the first time going to a new expansion, every single Astrologian main. This is what Astrologian main feels like, right? Before potentially 6.0, right? Hey, Astrologian main A, what do you like? Well, I like the Astrologian in 3.1. What about you? I'm an Astrologian main too. I kind of like it when it was Storm's Blood. Astrologian C, well, I kind of like it the way Storm's Blood is. What? We like when the cards were random. Huh? I thought we all just fish for balance. Yes, we all like balance, but we also like the other card because they offer some sort of high skill cap playstyle. Are you fucking stupid? This is basically Astrologian main. No Astrologian mains at the moment across the whole Twitch directory or in game or JPNA community. They sit down and say this is Astrologian. They all have different ideas, an ideal Astrologian as an Astrologian main. So now moving to 6.0, it seems like finally Square Enix is like, guys, okay, enough quarreling. Children, this is the Astrologian moving forward. Then everybody can be like, okay, you know what? I was an Astrologian main C. I don't like this. Then go play another one. Now you got one more option. So finally, Astrologian has like a real identity. And also this bullshit, stupid, you can do both barrier and then healing. Depends on what other co-healer you have just to, change your stance so that you can do both. But then we can't let you do both too good. Then what's the point of having a white mage and a scholar? But if it's not too good, then what the fuck people want you? Oh, that's the card. Astrologian has always been, nobody knows what the fuck they want to do it with, right? Now it's a pure healer. It's got a specific healing role. Then they just, fixate with this card system. Moving forward, it should be more, it should be a clear more image about how to balance this job and not throw a random idea.
My fucking favorite thing about this is back in the day when they said they were not going to do another healer job, it was like, we need to balance the 3 healers. And they're like, well, to balance the 3 healers, we need to add another healer job.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, so what do you guys think about main healer, off healer? Because that's kind of the direction that they're going now.
It's fucking, it's what they should do anyways, dude. It is what it is. There's not a good solution outside what they're doing. I can't figure it out.
They can only, I agree, Frosty. They can only do it this way. A lot of people say, oh, what about tanks? How come there's no main tank, sub tank? How come all tank can do everything? Well, that's different. At least that is easy to balance. Just have the correct party AoE mitigation, self-mitigation, and then the DPS. You play around, the only thing that changes is maybe the rotation. Dude, can you imagine if all 4 healers can do both pure healing and barrier? How the fuck are they gonna balance that, man? I think now you split it up and you balance them based on pure. It's better. It's easier.
I think it's better for them, and I think it's better for them. It's a lot easier to balance two pure, 2 shield. I think
It's better
so.
for them. It's better
I mean,
for the
like,
community too. Like the Final Fantasy 14 community in general to have like a straightforward, hey, I do shields, yay, and I do regens or straight heals. You know, I think overall it's good. It's not as good for people who like to get real crazy and creative with healers and really get into the game. But those kind of people aren't the main target for development.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I'm kind of like, man, I don't know, dude. I'm kind of like in the middle. Honestly, man, I can see people not liking it, and I agree with their reasons for not liking it. But I can also see why people do like it and why it should be in the game. I do think that the direction the game is going, this is the correct direction. It's much easier for them to balance. It's much easier for like healers to sync up shit. Like, just because you're naturally going to go in as a scholar and be like, okay, well, fuck, I should have leveled Sage. But you're going to naturally go in there and say, okay, well, I'm obviously going to be focusing on shields here. The same thing for Shade or for Sage. Whereas like White Mage and Astro, you're going to be like, okay, I'm probably going to put up regen. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like, yeah, like you were saying earlier with Astro being like kind of both. Some Astros they only like to heal a certain way. Some Astros like to heal the other way. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like a clear distinction. You know what I mean? So I do think it is better for people, but I can see why some people wouldn't like it, as far as like the creative aspect of it or the intricacy part for it. But I do think that it's better for the game because like I said, man, the game. They're really trying hard to keep everything as balanced as possible, and I think that's good.
Yeah. I mean, fucking, I'd be on board if they did some crazy shit with stuff. But then again, I would be on board if they fucking added Cruise Chaser to PvP rewards, right? Like, I love seeing that shit, dude.
Frosty,
yeah?
Frosty, they did crazy shit. It's called Astrologian pre-4 5.0. Guess what? It happened. Nobody knows. Like I said, nobody knows the actual direction. Nobody knows what they like. The astrologian men don't even know what they like. The normal healers don't even know what they like. That's what happened when they go creative. It's imbalance.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. I also am on the opinion that we're gonna get to so many jobs that they need to stop worrying about everything being perfectly balanced and just say fuck it, and just have a little bit of an imbalance there. And if you really want to be hardcore, play the job that's overpowered.
The meta, yeah.
Because when we have like 25, 30 jobs,
man, they said they were trying to go for another 10 years.
Dude,
yeah.
Play the cards right. I got a job for another 10 years. Oh, that was nice to hear. That was nice to hear, man.
Yeah. Now we just need Twitch. Right? I was telling Zeno, they say they want to do another 10 years. I mean, I don't mind playing this game for another 10 years, right? Especially you now have at least a room and you can guarantee me you can play for another 10 years. We have a good game for you for 10 years. But what about Twitch, man? Is Twitch still going to be the same?
Twitch may be gone,
our job
dude.
comes
I don't know.
Exactly. Our job comes in 2 segments, right? At least one is, approved.
I mean, you're always going to have a platform in some way. You're just maybe not Twitch, right? There's going to be like YouTube, or maybe YouTube will go in some way. Maybe you'll have to be TikTok streamers, dude. I don't fucking know.
Oh,
yeah. Really, there's so many there. Yeah.
But the platform will be there in some way. It just might not be Twitch, and fucking who cares about Twitch anyways, dude? Just, as a company.
You can't say that on Twitch.tv, mother.
Oh, shit. Fuck. You're right. They might fucking dock me for it or something, dude. I don't know. I guess when we go back to like the overall changes and stuff that they did with jobs, like I don't think anyone left. I mean, there's little bits of like maybe not anything like this, but everybody fucking like that watched, I think, were pretty happy overall with the job changes, right? I mean, they did a couple crazy things. The crazy things that they did look good and simple enough to grasp and understand. And they kept the stuff that was balanced and good. People were like, okay, it's balanced and good. We'll just keep being balanced and good. So, I don't know.
This expansion is going to be about playing safe, I think. I think they're playing super safe.
Yeah. They have to, dude. They have the fucking audience right now, right? They're in the perfect place.
They can't fuck this up, man. They can't goof.
Yeah. Because all they need is a bad Endwalker expansion, then holy fuck, that would suck, dude. Having all this build up and just no payoff.
That's the best thing about Final Fantasy 14, right? They will never fuck it up but we shouldn't expect. I mean, we would love to see something better. Obviously, like in Storm's Blood, right? They introduced to Ultimate Eureka, do something better. But I think you are out now on the finale already, right? For this story arc, right? End it properly. Just don't fuck it up. And also, like you guys say, this is the tipping point where most people are coming. If you tell me 3-4 years ago that Endwalker is gonna be more hyped than Shadowbringer, I'll be like, no way. Shadowbringer is just too fucking good already. The fact they even run out of digital copy codes for Endwalker,
That's crazy.
and
man.
then that's crazy. I never heard that before, right? And then server capacity at max, even on a content drought.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, they don't. I will be okay if this expansion, in terms of the overall direction, job balances and or story and or quality of content is exactly the same as before. Now, I don't want it to be exactly the same like Shadowbringer. Hopefully the same like Storm's Blood. I really like Storm's Blood in terms of number of content.
That was the best
so-
expansion.
That's the best
I thought
expansion.
so.
I agree.
Yeah, I thought so.
So hopefully we get that, and then 7.0, then we dream again. 3 Ultimate, one more third. But now Endwalker, just be better than Shadowbringer, as good as Storm's Blood. That's all I pray for.
Yep.
Mhm.
I'm okay with this. Yeah. But overall, like the trailer was. I mean, back to the job trailer. I think the job trailer and the presentation in this live letter is the best they could have done. Now the last thing that is gonna, put everything in its place is the 2 tapes. That would be the biggest, the one that will, paint the whole picture. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude, that job trailer, like they had to spend so much fucking money to make it look that good. Like, holy shit. That was probably the best they've done so far. It's like almost like the game trailer kind of quality, right? Like they just put so much fucking work into making that look good that we know that this is like a major point for them to do this job trailer release for everyone. Like, Jesus fuck. And then they did
elaborate as well. The PowerPoint was very elaborate as well. Yeah.
Yeah. You know the thing where they had like the boards and the job icons moving around in the AoEs? They need to put like something like that in game. So you can fucking plan with like your raid roofs and shit, dude. They really gotta do that, dude.
Yeah.
Drawing board, that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah. God damn. But that being also said, they did. I don't know. Did you guys watch the whole thing even at to the very end?
Oh, I did.
Nah. Once they started talking about the game show, then I dipped out, man. Just dipped.
For me, it was just very natural because I was doing a 24-hour subathon. So that is like the perfect thing for me to just. Actually, the first time I actually see through the whole live letter. So yeah.
The fucking music trailer thing that they did felt so awkward and weird because it would play a little bit of music and cut off like randomly. It wasn't smooth. It would just fucking cut like at a loud part to another song, and it would just keep jumping around, and the feelings were not right at all. I'm like, how the fuck do they develop this job trailer and then they just like tell the intern to come over here and do like the rest of the shit? Like I couldn't make sense out of it. I don't know if you remember that.
Wait, what the fuck?
What?
Dude, you can't say that, man. Square Enix is gonna hate you.
You guys fucked me anyways, dude. Oh, Jesus Christ. But no, like that whole that music part, it was pretty rough. They had to throw that fucking together. Like it was worse than like if I made a video for YouTube on something, dude.
Wow, you really hated that much, huh? Holy shit.
It wasn't horrible, but it was just after seeing all the high quality stuff and then going to that, it was just fucking weird. I mean, there's some other big news they put in there. I mean, we meme about the belts and we meme about the teleportation stuff, but they also talked about the DC trial being delayed. We all fucking kind of knew that, though.
Yeah.
I think we're all okay with that, right? No one's really upset.
It's that, yeah. I mean, I would love it to be there. I mean, to be honest, even if you let me go to Crystal, what am I gonna do now? I mean, RP for sure. I'm not missing I'm not missing a key function that will give me access to more prestige. I guess you know, like more prestige or nice service or content, right? So yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we basically, before this whole burst of players coming into the game, we're like, DC travel, fucking yeah, we're ready to do this shit. Now we have fucking more players than we know what to do with. We're like, well, we can hold off for a little bit, bouncing around, right?
Yo, Aether got locked down, man.
Yeah, dude, that's so fucking
locked down.
insane. The whole fucking data center.
Yeah, I never
Fucking
seen
crazy,
like
dude.
the whole thing.
And then, like,
Wait, so let me get this straight. You
Go ahead.
cannot. Let me get this straight. You cannot even create a Aether
No.
character.
You can't create
No,
a,
I don't think
you can
so.
create it,
Not,
yeah.
not any time of the day. Like, you know, sometimes they lock down. There's a specific time of the day you can make one Baomang, right? So like Aether completely not.
You can't
It's on
transfer
lockdown,
over
man.
to it. You can't like do anything to get in there. I don't think, which is unheard of. Like they've never done that before. You used to be able to get around it by making a character on a server, then transferring to a server afterwards. But
Yeah.
you can't do that shit.
Not even that.
And so they're one good thing, I guess, is they are apparently still on timeline for the Oceanic servers, which might be good for you, Arthas. I don't know if you care about that at all, but
I'm sorry. What servers?
the Oceanic data center.
Nah. Nobody
No.
in the right mind would want to do. Look, dude, if you include the quote unquote merge because of the visit, right? And I know a lot of people always say, "I just visit." I don't think, dude, it will happen. Cross data DC will happen. Cross data DCPF will happen, right? It's just a matter of time. Yes, it might not be immediate. But it's a matter of time. Just look at the long term. You got Crystal. You got EU 2 server merged into one. 5 server each, 10 server in one data center. You got JP with 9 per times 3, almost 25, 27. And then you got NA like 6 times 3, like 18 to 20. And then you got one Oceanic, one data center with like potentially 5 server. Like, what's even the choice here? I don't even think the ping is worth justifying you to sacrifice the sheer amount more content that you can play round the clock than just sticking with one data center 5 servers. You know, I
don't know. I think
it just did on arrival. I think just did on arrival.
I don't think so. I mean, mate, you know better than I do. You fucking.
I mean, there will be an audience. There will be an audience. I just think you're paying $10-$12.99 a month. If you really want to play this game a lot, you really enjoy the scene. So many people around you. You know how many more community and friends you can make. Server hop. Playing on one DC and 5 server when everybody is like in this really big environment, it just feels not for me, at least not for me. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I think that. I mean, there's some other shit. There's some posts that outline this great, but I mean, at the end, after they did the job changes, and they went on to pretty much go into fucking crafting and gathering and like.
Nah, they didn't talk about shit, really.
Yeah, I mean that was really it. I mean, they have some stuff. They talked about like they're going to make it pure healer and barrier healer for a raid finder, which NA doesn't give a fuck about. I guess JP will care about that, but
yeah, JP will care. Well, probably.
But then the PF updates, I mean, that's all kind of expected. I mean, they did some quality of life stuff where they said, hey,
they should have fucking made the 5% default. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. They should, instead of for the DPS right now, the default is just any DPS. It should have been one ranged roll, one caster roll, one melee roll, and then the last one was any roll. That's what it should have been, just by default. That way that you automatically have people just naturally get the 5% more. They would have to go in there and purposely fuck with it to not get 5%.
Yeah, I think that's a good
met
point.
so much. I met so much non-5% the last 2 weeks in NA and JP. I even got parties that go with 3 black mage and 1 samurai. Like, what the fuck? Like, what? It doesn't matter. I don't care whether it doesn't matter. It's not fun. Oh, but it's okay for me. Yeah, then you are a selfish prick, aren't you? Right? like you are saying that we are so specific, we are so picky. Like, dude, you don't even care. And then you're like, oh, it feels party faster. It doesn't. You got the same people that don't care. Yeah, it doesn't. Me and Xeno is not going to join. That's -2 already. It really doesn't feel party faster. So I was saying I was actually renting because, like I said, these last 2 weeks I've seen so much. I was actually renting. We got Xeno, we got Happy, we got Mistak, we got Reen, we got Momo, we got so many of these content creators. None of you guys really did not make a 5% video. But you know what? Don't make it. Because of the Sabaton goal, I've decided to cosplay Xeno. I'm gonna watch some Xeno video. I'm gonna talk like him, play some metal fucking music, and I'm just gonna pretend that Xeno made that video. Okay, it's mine now. You guys can't make it. Okay, you guys have 5 years to make it, and you guys didn't. Okay, I'm gonna make it now.
All right, it's time. Get your YouTube channel going, Arthas, dude.
Man, I got a serious question for you guys. This
Yeah.
is serious.
Yeah.
And you can't.
You're
not allowed to lie to me.
Okay.
Now I know that both of you've seen those dicks in the Square Enix chat. I know you've seen them. My question for you is, did you laugh? Did you laugh when you seen them?
Dude, I turned
you have
chat
a chuckle?
off,
Laugh
dude.
as in generally, or like laugh as in happy. You know, like what type? What do you mean?
I don't
when
laugh
you saw,
at that stuff.
when you saw them, were you
bad,
like,
but-
"Damn, now that's pretty fucking funny"?
I mean, for me,
Because me,
I'm sure you
I
laugh.
couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah. And you
I don't know why
why
I think it's so funny that you just see a big Among Us dick in the official channel. But dude, that's so funny to me.
You
and I
know
don't
why
know why.
it's fucking funny to you? Because
I'm
fucking-
ridiculously immature.
No, because Yoshida's sitting here like this, looking at chat, and fucking just seeing that shit fly in front of his face, and you know,
he saw it, dude.
yeah, you know he's
No,
seen
he saw it.
all this shit that's going on, and so I mean that's pretty fucked up. But I mean that's Twitch, dude. That's just fucking Twitch.
Oh man.
And you
That
know-
that was
They're not gonna fucking put Twitch chat on a screen behind them anymore, ever.
Yep,
Ever
yep.
after that.
Yep.
It's
Oh,
done,
man.
dude.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh
god, there
god, I
it is.
can't
Holy
ban this shit. How do I ban this? God damn it.
Oh no, I got it. It's my bad. It's my bad.
Fuck,
There it is.
you fucked me over, dude.
No, it's my bad. I got it.
All right,
I got it.
I got it. You gotta get it next time. Next time it happens,
I
you
got
get
it.
it. I need to get something that like fucking like a true bot that takes care of that stuff.
Wide ban, mod him.
Hey man, you knew the fucking risk when you did it, dude. You knew the risk. The shit
I'm
goes
sorry,
on
I brought it
YouTube,
up.
man.
I'm
Fuck.
sorry. I
sorry.
brought it up.
It's all right, dude. It's
I
all
was just curious if other people were as immature as I was. That's all I
You
was
know they
asking.
were. You know they
just-
were. It's not.
I just
People
like it
fucking
was
love
so
it.
funny
I see.
because it always happened on the summoner panel. Like
Oh really?
yeah, it happened on the summoner panel because people kept summoning dicks. That's what it was, dude. That's why. So every time they said summoner, you would see it.
Oh,
Oh, my
jeez.
Yeah.
Fucking chat does mod. You know what? Maybe I should start banning people who say mod him, dude. Fucking shit. That's like a new thing too, right? It's like mod motherfucker.
Mod him.
Mod him. God
Why you
damn.
banning him? Mod him.
All right. Other things. That was kind of cool. What do you guys think about the targeting on the ground? The how they kind of.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah.
It was a nice addition. Yeah. Yo, that
good.
fucking another nice addition. The targeting on the ground thing was cool. But what was also really cool was the fact that now in the party list you can see who they're targeting.
Yeah.
So like the double raise thing, like I think that's awesome. That's really
That's so
really
fucking good for like the 1% of players who pay attention to shit like that.
Mhm. Yeah, it's really
but
good.
It's most of the community's not gonna fucking pay attention to it.
Yeah,
But
unfortunately.
it's a sweet. I mean, they also specifically say like Swift cast, those things can't be helped. All they had to do, right? If somebody has the raise icon, the buff, you know, when you raise someone, you get the raise buff, right? If you got that raise buff, you cannot raise that person. You
Of
cannot.
course,
even
why the
cast
fuck
spell.
would they do
That's
that?
all they.
That's a
Yeah.
really good
That's
point.
all they had to do. You know.
It's such a simple thing. You just
Yeah.
can't cast that ability twice. It says, "Oh, can't do it. Already has it on it." Oh, okay. I'll rest somebody else.
or like
Good.
refund you the mana
Exactly.
or something. I don't know. Just something.
The cast is what sucks, is sitting there and casting it for 7 seconds. But I don't. Maybe that's a level of skill like positionals, man. You know, just fucking. You have to look at it and know when you're doing the res.
I like all these WoW streamers with their mods and shit, their UI mods, because I think that's going to give Square Enix a lot of ideas. Because remember, they love to take things from the community and implement them.
Dude. None of the mods look even fucking good though. I mean, maybe I'm just fucking. I mean, maybe it just looks like fucking like thrown on top, like someone did a paint drawing or something and like colored it. I don't know.
Necessarily think about the UI itself, like the skin. I think about the idea. So one idea that's really awesome is the one mod I saw. They're the timers underneath the debuffs in the party list. I think that's fucking awesome. That's fucking badass. They need to add that. Like Square Enix needs to add that.
You're right. You're right on that. Like there's utility, like stuff that like how they're putting information on the screen. They need to take those ideas. But God, like visually, those fucking mods are just hard for me to look at, dude. It looks so out of place and weird.
No, like I think I don't use any of that. I don't really. I mean, I kind of meme on UIs and stuff, but for the most part, like people using whatever the fuck they want, I don't care.
Sure,
like I really don't care.
Of course.
Yeah, but like some of the stuff is good though, like the timer on debuffs, just like that little stuff, man, is pretty good, I think.
Yeah. All right. They did do one thing with the UI though, is they split up like what was the buffs? It was the ability buff or whatever, buffs. And the
proc buffs. Yeah, that's good buffs.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they are taking some stuff, right? I don't know if that was them taking it from somewhere, but they are starting to think about these things and throwing it in there. And maybe they'll do a big update in like 6.1 or something with UI updates because of, Maximum and his whole fucking raid coming out. Like a lot of UI mods.
Yeah, it's been nice, man. It's been nice.
God, what was the other thing? Enhanced Echo. Fucking, we kind of know a little bit about that for undersized parties. I guess that's just supposed to balance the squish, the stat squish.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't ever do shit unsynced anyway, so it's just whatever. Like, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck unsynced, right? Wondrous Tales, dude. What was it? No, that's undersized. Unsynced. I don't fucking remember all the damn terms anymore.
Undersized is like when you go in there, like you mount farm and shit, or you're trying to get like, you're trying to solo something for whatever reason or something. I don't know. I don't ever do that content, so I really don't have an opinion on it.
What? I'm looking at these notes. There's nothing really else in there. I don't know. Was there anything that stood out to you, Arthas, that you feel like we still need to go over before we finish up?
Not really. I mean, wait, we are not talking about teleport, right? Are we?
No.
Right? What the fuck? No, why do we care about teleport, man?
We already talked about it. We mentioned it. We said teleport at the beginning of the stream. That's it.
Yeah, it was the big joke, right? It was the big joke. Hey, let's talk about teleport. Let's talk about pelts.
I can't believe how long they talk about it, but yeah, no. Yeah. Otherwise, let me think. I think we're good, yeah.
I mean, I think we covered it pretty good, and we actually did it a lot quicker than I thought we would. I thought we were gonna fucking be here for 6 hours. Jesus fucking Christ! Like I was so worried about this, dude. I was like, man, do I need to like eat like 5?
I just blasted through it, man.
Yeah, and we hit it good. We hit it, and we weren't like horrible, right? This wasn't like a super toxic show. I mean, you guys shit on Yoshida a little bit, but that's all right.
Whoa, I didn't, man. I'm gonna rate his UI. I'll tell you what, he's looking like an S right now. Looking like an S rating.
S is, what does S stand for you?
Fucking super duper, the best.
Okay.
Yeah, that's S rank.
Jesus Christ. All right. Well, that being said, let's see. Got all these notes just to make sure. Yeah, we're fucking good. All right. Well, then we'll go to wrap up. And you're gonna stream right after this, right, Xeno?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the trailer stuff, man. I want to look at the trailer. I'm gonna do a breakdown of the tanks.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to. I'm gonna knock it out.
Then what we'll do is like instead of like we'll do a raid on you like as we finish up here too. I do have a couple of little things to go through. I do want you guys both to do your standard shout. I mean, they all fucking know where to find you. God, Twitch has been great. By the way, and congratulations, because fucking it's been going off recently. The
directory has been popping, man. Holy moly.
Yeah, it's insane, dude. But if for some fucking reason they don't know where to find you, Xeno, where can they find you? And is there anyone you want to shout out to? We can throw that in there too.
Shout out my raid group. For Endwalker. Shout out Twitch chat. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Shout out Twitch chat. God, fucking love Twitch chat, dude. Never change. Never
Are you
change.
still working towards that operation where Twitch chat just shows on the back of your eyelids? So okay.
On my peripheral vision, on the right side of my peripheral vision.
Nice.
Still working on that operation.
All right.
Yeah, but I'm twitch.tv/Xenosys Vex. I have Twitter, Instagram, fucking Facebook. I got all that bullshit. So
you got Facebook?
Unfortunately.
Oh fuck, that's.
I just have it to have it. I'm actually never on it really. I just have it because it's there.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man.
Same.
Fucking weird, champ. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do that. I'm not. I don't even want to mess with Facebook, dude. But yeah, and you're gonna be doing some videos at some point soon, right?
Yeah. I've been uploading to YouTube like crazy. Yeah, I hired an editor. Shout out to my editor, dude, Leo. He's a fucking madman. He's a madman. He's really funny. Really funny guy.
Nice. And then Arthas, same thing, where people can find you. Any shout outs you want to do?
Twitch.tv/Arthars. I'm on Twitter as well, mainly using just Twitter and Twitch. My Twitter is like ArtharsFF14. Yeah, so it would be great. You guys follow me, yeah. But otherwise, mainly taking this chance to shout out to those people that chime in, watch, and supported the subathon. The first time I do a subathon, kind of regret, but it was fun because I underestimated Twitch chat. I really didn't expect it to reach the goal and also exceeded my expectation. So yeah, shout out on that. And also, yeah, everybody coming into the game, everybody watching, hanging around. Like, the Asmongold effect was a few months ago. There was a big surge, but everybody actually stayed. Everybody is like, still enjoying everybody's company. It was great. Like overall, the Twitch directory was amazing. And I think everybody is better off it. Moving forward to Endwalker, hopefully everybody enjoy the same. And this is just the beginning, man. This is actually the worst time of Final Fantasy 14, the worst drought, the most dry period, the worst delay, and then in this pandemic as well, literally the worst timeline. Yet it's popping off for Final Fantasy 14. So going forward is gonna be even more crazy. Can't wait. Yeah.
I'm gonna give you some fucking WD-40, Xeno. I swear to fucking God.
Yeah, dude.
Just
I'm antsy, dude. I've had to piss for the past hour.
Shit. All right. Well, then that being said, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you everybody for watching. It's been great to have you here. Xeno, Arthas, fucking so great to have you back on.
Thanks for having me, man.
I'll shave my head again. 100,000 subs. I'll shave my head.
Woo!
And then we'll get Xeno back on.
Let's go.
But then also thank you to Andre Kane for the intro and closing music. Thank you to my wife for being so amazing and just putting up with me doing this every fucking weekend and also dealing with the pregnancy that she's going through right now. Fucking
congrats, by the way, Steve.
Wonderful.
Yeah, congrats.
Thanks, man. It's going to be fucking a crazy 6 months and then it's going to be a crazy fucking 18 years. So we'll see how that fucking goes. And then also thank you to all the viewers, Patreon supporters, fucking everybody, people who did sub, whatever. You guys are all great. I have a quick Patreon video I got to do, but and then we're gonna host Xeno here after he goes in peace and gets a second. But you guys all remember to be good, keep cool, stay frosty, all that shit. Everybody say wave and bye.
Bye.
Say bye, Xeno.
Bye.
Hey guys, so there was some people who were kind of concerned about the rabbit, so Bubbles is on break for a little bit. I figured the Twitch audience would like this avatar a little bit more, so let's go ahead and start thanking our Patreons. I'd like to go ahead and thank Morning, which is a great PvE rating website, Phase Temperance, which is a great community that puts on PvE events, Teamcraft, which is a wonderful website for crafting. And go ahead and check that out if you want to work with other crafters who just learn more about crafting. Then there's just some individuals who help out. Dude, it's Antonio, D Fury, Daniel H, JJ, Megan C, Nami, Psyche, and Tagalong. So again, thank you to all the patrons for their support. And if you want to become a Patreon, just go to patreon.com/FrostyTV, and you can get things like mugs and t-shirts and all that cool stuff that just kind of comes along with the subscriptions. That being said, everybody, until next time, we'll see if Bubbles returns, but we'll stay with this for right now. Bye, guys.